Buenos dias, and welcome to the 2014 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships. My name is Bo Hodge, along with world champion Jamie Mitchell. Jamie, good morning. How you doing on this Aloha Friday?
Morning, Bo. Feeling very sorry for these competitors that are about to embark on this distance race. Good morning, and we have some strong winds this morning, Bo, a little stronger than yesterday, and obviously, you know, we know the humidity and the heat's going to play a factor. So, yeah, these girls are going to be in for one tough race today, and it's going to be a battle of attrition, and you know, may the strongest win.
Yeah, we are doing women only today, both in the prone category and the SUP stand-up category. This will be an 18K, roughly about 10, 11 miles, translated in miles and kilometers. It's going to be very hot, very humid. A lot of tactics are going to be done. We have a total of 15 women in the SUP division and a total of 13 women competing in the prone division. And let's start with the course. As you can see, we are broadcasting at the finish line. So the starters are not going to be in sight from us, but we're going to have live remotes out throughout the race. We're going to have some great feedback from Chris Parker. He's on one of the chase boats, the camera boats. And let's talk everybody through this race from the start, Jamie.
Yeah, the start's going to be a flat water start. They're going to be it'll be a very, very, very fast, fair start. So they're going to you know, continue out to buoy one. They're going to have to keep that on their left shoulder, obviously on the right hand side. So and then they're going to continue on right through up. I guess I haven't paddled this side of the course, but I guess there's a lot of islands. It's you know, very protected from the wind on this side, but from what I hear at the start, it's a little bit of a headwind, so it's going to make for a tough race. And they're going to continue up right up until buoy 2. They're going to keep the buoy 2 on their left shoulder, and then as you can see, they're going to navigate themselves through a whole bunch of small islands and real beautiful scenery. But you know, I don't think they'll be stopping to check the scenery.
Now, in between these buoys, you can see those little red marks. They're going to be gates there, so because these guys are not going to really know which island to really turn on. So even though we're showing you these 6 buoys, there's small gates and flags out on the course guiding them.
So what the ISA have done, they've done a great job. They've got what they call the cookie crumbs, the bread crumbs. So there's single flags that are in the water, and so when you see a single flag, you don't have to go either side of that flag. It's basically showing you where you should be heading towards. And then there's also going to be like a gate-style buoys out there where there'll be 2 flags, you know, with about 15 meters apart. And then when you see those gates, that means you have to go through the gates. So there's going to be little flags along the way showing these competitors where they need to be paddling. And then when they see the gates, they need to go through the gates. And if they don't go through the gates, they'll be disqualified. So a very technical long-distance race, and they'll make it all the way through to buoy number 3, keep that on the left turn, make their way all the way through around out. When they'll finally get out of these little islands, they'll veer to the right, one more left-hand turn, and they'll actually have a bit of a downwind section from buoy 4 to 5, and then it'll be a brutal upwind leg from 5 to 6, a right-hand turn into the finish line.
Well, it's going to be an exciting course, and yesterday we had the technical version of our races yesterday, both for the men and women in prone and SUP. And let's take a look at yesterday's highlights at the 2014 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships.
We don't have a thermometer, but I can tell you it's very hot. It's like 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 37 degrees Celsius here at beautiful Lake Nicaragua. Luckily for us, there's a nice side breeze. Luckily for us, for the competitors means a lot of extra paddling. We are in the race part of the World SUP Championship and Paddleboard Championship. So today we have prone paddle, short technical race trials. And we have the same for guys and girls SUP racing. And in the afternoon, at the end of the day, of course, the incredible relay, which is very competitive, very fun to watch. Stay with us, don't go. This is the ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships in Nicaragua, Granada. Gracias.
With the other race, it looked pretty fast. It looked like everyone was together, but there was another Australia guy in the race, and I know I'm up with him, so I know I'll be up with the other heat people in my race. I think I just was lucky to break away, a few runs and stuff, but I think everyone will be up there in the final.
Contenta y las sensaciones han sido buenas después del hit de hoy y esperando a mañana, que será una larga distancia, hace muchísimo calor y espero hidratarme bien, llevarme buena hidratación porque va a ser muy larga.
The performance of Team America today was unreal. We got through all of our heats, we all qualified for our finals on Sunday. We're all looking forward to the distance, both tomorrow and Saturday. The relay we just had was unbelievable.
Celebrating 50 years of surfing with the International Surfing Association. Welcome back. I'm Bo Hodge on this Aloha Friday with world champion Jamie Mitchell. This is the morning show, day of long-distance paddling for the women only. Men will get their chance tomorrow for the long-distance paddle. Same course, same timing, same layout for the men. But for the ladies, it's on today, both prone and SUP. And we laid out the course for you, and these are some of the boats that will be going out into the water. And you can see how the lake and the tides play a factor out here. And we're going to show you a Google Earth span of the course layout. And this is going to be pretty interesting, Jamie.
Yeah. Once we zoom in here, it's going to be it's nice to see everyone at home, families and friends that are supporting on their their children or their friends are going to be able to see exactly where we are in Granada in Nicaragua. And,
so that's the capital here, and you can see where the finish line is. That's where we're broadcasting. So that's the beautiful Granada, the capital that we're based at here for the whole week. And the finish line is Broadcast Central, where the technical races and the semifinals were held yesterday. Let's zoom in over to the start. You can see the mouse in the hand. We're going to go over to the start area, and this is where the racers are right now.
Yeah, basically they're over there trying to get ready. They're trying to hydrate, make sure all their camelbacks and water systems, their nutrition gels, everything's working. They're probably having a small little warm-up. And then they're going to get ready for the start. And I think that the women's SUP will go off first, and the prone will start a few minutes behind them.
So as we zoom out and go down the line, we're going to be taking a look at the course here. And there's buoy number 1. And understand that Chris called you earlier, and that buoy's not there. It's actually a flag.
Yeah, it's going to be a flag now. They're going to have to keep that as the left shoulder. And then, as we said before, there's going to be a bunch of small little flags. They're going to make their way through around to buoy 2, left-hand turn, all the way through to buoy 3. They're going to keep that on their left shoulder again, keep going around these islands, out to buoy 4, left-hand shoulder, downwind leg to buoy 5, left-hand shoulder, and then a right-hand shoulder off buoy 6 into the finish line.
Okay, we just got word that they're getting ready for a start at the start line, so this is going to be very exciting. This will be the SUP start. We do have some remote cameras on the boats. Some of it will be on a 30-second delay, and we're going to be bringing you spot-on coverage from the camera boat, and also some radio reports from SUPRacer.com, Chris Parker.
Yeah, Chris will be out in the boat today, and we're going to try our best with technology over here to give you guys and keep you guys right up to date with what's happening. So, we're going to be doing some voice. Chris is going to be doing some voice recordings and sending them through to my phone, and we're going to try and give you guys the latest updates as good as we can. So, well,
let's take a look at the field first for the SUP racers. Obviously, the #1 seed coming from the gold medal champion, Shakira Westorp.
Yep, Shakira Westorp. I know Shakira very well, and she basically has just been got told that she was to do the SUP distance race about a month ago. So she's had 4 weeks to prepare. So, not very long, but she's a super strong girl, and she knows exactly what she needs to do. She's very race savvy, and I expect her to be right up the front and, make a move on this downwind leg.
Some of the other top contenders, Idemar Luqui from Venezuela, Lena. Agaitis from Canada is going to be one of the top ones.
Lena would have to come into this as favourite. She just had a very close second place finish to the girl from New Zealand, Annabelle Anderson in North Carolina. So, but we're just about to start, I think, in about 10 seconds, Bo.
Okay, so we're getting word from, actually, we're going to stick our microphone up here and listen to Chris.
Parker, you're live.
Alright, we're going to have a live shot shortly. Alright, the girls are lined up on the start. They're starting in about 10 seconds. They're off. The women's SUP has just started.
Well, we're having a hard time getting that. I believe they just started.
Oh, here we go. We have some live feed right now.
So this is a 30-second delay. This is our mobile video feed from the cameras. And you can see the SUP girls are already underway, Jamie, and it's going to be a little bit grainy because of the technology out here and the relay systems. But it looks like a good, clean start for the girls.
Yeah, it does. Looks like they're off and going, and I can see Shakira there. I can see Lena there. It looks like the girl from France. There's Shakira now. Thing as they nearly run over the boat there, but the camera boat. But it's all good. We'll hopefully get some more close-up footage as we go along. But looks like the girls are off and running, and looks like there's Shakira in the middle there in the white. That looks like Lena from Canada on the right-hand side there, and a nice little bunch right there, like a bunch of 5 or 6 girls. So, yeah, everyone's going to be playing it very, very cagey at the start of this race. I can't imagine anyone's going to want to go out and try and lead the whole way. If anyone could do that, it's probably Lena. But, to me, that would be not a very smart move at this stage of the race. I would probably try and, work up the, keep the workload evenly with a couple of the top girls, but we'll see how it progresses throughout the race.
So, Jamie, 18K, give us a ballpark. I know it's hard to put a time on this because this course hasn't been run before. Roughly 18Ks in the caliber of the world-class field that we have here.
Yeah, I would imagine it's going to be somewhere around 2 hours and 15, 2 hours, 20 minutes. And, it looks like they're sort of paddling into a little bit of a headwind there. You can see the texture on the water. And I can tell that is Lena in first, that's Shakira in second, and I would imagine it's the Spanish lady Laura Quidglas. I think she may be in third. Going on yesterday's performances, and then you can see there now fourth place is just dropped back, and then there's a group of 5 and then another group of 2. So it looks like the trains of drafting is forming itself as we speak.
Yeah, there's a shot of the competitors area, and I got to tell you, the host country here at Nicaragua has just been great guest here and supporting all the athletes with water, hydration, food, and especially shelter.
Yeah, it looks and feels like a like a CT contest. When I've worked there before, the competitors area is as good as anywhere I've been. So it's amazing, and you walk up this huge big eskies full of water and ice and Powerade and Gatorade. So ISA has really stepped it up and done a great job. And I know all the competitors, just from talking to competitors from different countries, that they're all stoked, and it's just continually improving year by year. So as we're back onto some live action here, and Lena's out the front grinding away, and she's not really from what I can gather and see, she's not going to drop these girls anytime soon. So it'll be interesting to see if she falls back and lets the other girls lead, or she's just going to try and grind them down with a fast pace at the front. Well,
this is going to be a long race. Could be 2 hours. Could be.
Yeah, if it's a true 18 kilometers, I would imagine in the heat, fatigue at the end, they're going to be going somewhere around the 2 hours and 20 minute mark. Give or take 10 minutes either side, but it's going to be brutal. These girls can only carry so much water, so hopefully they've got enough. There is a water aid station on the course, so I would imagine they're going to try and pull over to that and grab some water towards the end of the race. So exciting times, and we're just in the infancy of the race, so can't wait to see what transcends later.
Well, Jamie, you are the 2-time defending gold medal champion at this event, the long-distance course. What is your mind frame in the beginning? Talk to us about this lead pack. Are you trying to break away from the others? Are you trying to get cadence? Are you just trying to get in rhythm? Are you trying to break away? What is it in your mind frame in the beginning of the race that you're thinking about?
In a race where you've got quality competitors that you can't get away from, it's just about getting a good position and a good start. For me, I would be a perfect position now is where Shakira is. She's in second place. She's behind potentially the most informed paddler of this whole group. So, and she's just finding a rhythm. She's finding her pace. She's settling in. She's warming up. She's breathing, and then she's just going to find a really nice rhythm. And and that's what I would do. I'd be doing the exactly same thing, conserving energy, make sure I'm sipping on my water, making sure everything's working correctly. Because sometimes at the start of races things get crazy, and you might forget to take a sip of your water bottle for half an hour, and then all of a sudden you realize that it's not working. So there's lots of things to think about. It's not just purely get out there and race as hard as you can for 2 hours. There's a lot that goes into these types of races.
And every race is different. This time last year in Lima, Peru, you guys encountered fog banks. I mean, and it was difficult to navigate. You know, talk about that. You know, part of the elements of the course, obviously the element here is going to be the heat, the 100-degree, the 37 Celsius. I mean, heat's going to be a major factor here. But last year in Miraflores, you guys had limited sight distance.
Yeah, last year's race was amazing. We had surf at the start and surf at the far turn buoy that we had to contend with, and then we had 3 loops, and then on the way back it basically got fogged in and we couldn't see where we were going. So at the last 2 to 3 miles of that race, I was on the front of the pack, and basically it was just the blind leading the blind, and all we could go on was hearing. I could hear the commentators from the beach, and I was just waiting. You could hear them getting closer and closer, and then all of a sudden, we saw the buoy on the inside where the surf was, the finish, and everyone turned a sharp right-hand turn and sprinted for the finish, and then after that it was just crazy. We were catching waves, people were falling off, and it was a super exciting finish. But every race has its own little twists and turns, and this race will be no different. As we see Shakira taking the lead, so Lena, whoever's been coaching Lena has had a smart move, because you can't do all the work by yourself. So it looks like Shakira's out taking some of the workload, and from what I can see now, if these 3 stay together, they'll share the workload, and it'll basically come down to when if there's any sort of downwind section, which I think there will be, and that's when they'll be able to get out on their own and get their own water and try and break away.
Talk about drafting in long-distance races. These girls are going to share the lead. You lead for 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, do they communicate this amongst themselves, or is it just known that, hey, if you're going to be part of this pack, you're going to partly work for the pack. You're not going to be we're not going to, you're not going to drag me the whole into the race. I'm going to have to drag you some of the times. Yeah,
that's a contentious issue, drafting, and there's you hear a lot of horror stories of people drafting the whole way and then sprinting with 300 meters to go, and so there's like a sort of unwritten law about drafting, but paddler's code of what's right and what's wrong. But these guys will share the workload, and if it was for me, I remember a race back in Orlando in Florida with me and Danny Ching, and we both would lead for about 5 minutes apiece, and then we got to about a kilometre out, and we just went our separate ways. So and that's a fair way to do it. And you're not obviously always going to get the exact amount of time on the front and on the back, but as long as it's fair and someone isn't doing the majority of the work, then it's fair game towards the end.
You can see the second pack here right now, Jamie, and they've got a perfect line right here drafting also.
Yeah, it looks like a pack of 5 girls, and these girls are not. It's not over. These girls can, if they were to work together, and in a perfect world, the first paddler here would peel off to the left, just like a cycling race. When you see them peel off, and the next person takes the lead. So that's what you would want to do, and that's the way that they could. 5 people can work better than 3. Sometimes, but you need to be organised. You need to be able to communicate, and I guess with all the different language barriers, that mightn't be an easy thing.
So we're just roughly about 9.5 minutes into this 18-kilometer race, roughly about 10, 11 miles. It's going to be a marathon, so just under a half marathon course. So you just imagine that. Put yourself on a lake, one of the world's most famous lakes here at Lake Nicaragua, and the heat, the humidity, the endurance, and we're quietly tucked in an air-conditioned room here on this Aloha Friday, and last night was the Aloha Party hosted by Fernando Aguirre, and Fernando's so excited, so enthusiastic about coming back to Nicaragua, because for the last 3 years, it's either been the juniors or the masters, or now this year the SUP and paddleboard races here being hosted by the Ministry of Nicaragua and the whole country, and they have gone all out to host the ISA.
Yeah, it's amazing, and the locals here have been nothing but fantastic and welcoming, and what a great job, and they obviously love having these type of events here, and looking forward to getting back here one day soon, and actually on the day before I got to leave, I'm hoping to get some of the nice swell that's coming here to Nicaragua as well. So amazing surf spots, amazing people, so it's we're very lucky to have been welcomed so nice here.
Talking about the surf spot, our first 3 days of surfing at La Boquita, the United States picked up a gold and copper medal. France picked up a silver and bronze medal, along with Australia, the same too, a silver and bronze. Tahiti won the gold in the men's SUP, and Spain also picked up a medal in the copper. So team standings, Australia has a slight lead over the United States. France not too far behind. Brazil in 4th place in the team standings. South Africa currently in 5th. Peru, always a strong paddling nation, in 6th. Mexico in 7th. We can see Spain in 8th. Venezuela in 9th. And our host country, Nicaragua, currently holding down the 10th spot after our first 3 days. And today, we're going to be adding more medals today in both the SUP distance and the prone distance.
Yeah, as we see on the screen, so it looks like now Lena's gone back to the front. And what happened is Shakira has, peeled off to the left, and she's gone back. So the only thing that I'm worried about for these whoever's in 3rd place is if the paddler that's in 2nd drops off the front girl, and the paddler that's in 3rd is still strong enough, she has to make up that gap. So Shakira has to be very careful here, and whoever goes back into 3rd place has to be very careful here that they're very aware that if the 2nd place getter starts to drop off, they need to make a move very fast to get back onto the number 1 paddler there. Otherwise, she can get a gap, and that might be just all she needs and all she's looking for.
Jamie, let me ask you this. Do boards and tails and noses ever bump in the draft?
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely, you try not to, obviously, but, there's times where you just get a little too close and, you're getting bumped on the back. And as long as it's not a hard bump, but, again, I had, Danny Ching take off half my tail at the Battle of the Paddle one year. So, and it's not nothing, malice about it. That's just racing. Stuff happens, and you hope that it doesn't hinder the race and make it bad for anyone. So, but there will be what we call love taps out there for sure.
And the ages of our competitors here in the SUP racing, and don't worry, we're going to get into the prone racing, and we're going to talk about them. But ranging everywhere from 15 years of age from the United States teenager, Shea Fowdy, and our 41-year-old Maria Bachmann from Great Britain.
Yeah, there's a great array of age groups, and it's great to see the young kids and also the veterans as well. As we have a look at the list on the screen of the full people, with Shakira from Australia, Bridget Van Arswegen from South Africa, Esperanza Mules from Mexico, Lazinka Narajano Delgado from Peru, Barbara from Brazil, Celine Gueston from France, and Bo, you take away.
Yeah, Edimar Luque from Venezuela, Marie Bachmann, our oldest competitor from Great Britain, Lena Agaitis from Canada, who's in that lead group right now. She's also being in that part of that group is the Spaniard surfer, Laura Quickglass. Nicolijn Rasmussen from Denmark, part of the Danish team, and our youngest competitor from the United States, there's Shea Fowdy. We got Ana Vanegas from Nicaragua, Andrea Aldana from Guatemala, and Edith Garcia from Costa Rica. So there's your field of 15. And we've been focusing on the SUP distance. Hey, let's talk about, because just minutes after the start of the SUP, we began our field of 13 of our prone paddlers. And, of course, our 2-time gold medal champion from Australia, your teammate, Jordan Mercer's got to be the favorite in this race.
Yeah, she deserves to be favorite, and she'll go in as favorite. So, it'll be up to her to, live up to that expectation. But I tell you what, number 10, Carter Craves from the US of A. She's quietly confident, and she won the Catalina Classic last year, which is a 32-mile race. So she's definitely got the skills to hang there with Geordie. So, but Geordie's one tough competitor, and she's very, very experienced. So that'll be an interesting race. And let's not count out the girl from Spain who paddled very well yesterday. Itzia Riviero. So, as we go back on the screen there, you can still see the top 3 ladies, punching it out there with a beautiful backdrop of Nicaragua. It's, I'm not sure the girls aren't really taking too much of the scenery in, but it sure is nice. And, Lena's, still, powering away in first. Really nice, strong technique, and the girls are looking strong out there.
So beautiful layout here, our remote cam with the technology here. We're going to be getting shots in, shots out. We're on a 30-second delay. We're going to be checking in with Chris Parker from supracer.com from time in to time out. Roughly 15 minutes, 50 seconds into this marathon of a race. It is an 18-kilometer course, roughly about 10, 11 miles in the translation. The heat, well, it's not 100 degrees yet Fahrenheit, but that's why we got a 9 o'clock start. If we had a 12 noon start, that would be amazing. We're going to take you through a tour via Google Earth, and there's been a couple of changes here, Jamie. We're going to talk everybody into the couple of changes. Of course, the first change was buoy number 1 was changed from a buoy to a flag.
Yeah,
So,
which is no real big, it's just they're going to have to look for a smaller flag instead of a big buoy. So
here we are, the host country, Grenada, and the start there right off the pier. You saw the boats. You saw the crisscross over from the top paddlers. So they're getting close right now to that first marker.
yeah, so basically from what I can see here, it looks like a pretty straight line to we're going to call it buoy 1, but realistically it's flag 1. They're going to have to keep that on their left shoulder. So they'll come around that buoy 1 left shoulder. They're going to follow the smaller red flags, which basically the breadcrumbs. They're going to make their way through these islands here, and we can't see the little flags on screen there, but they're going to follow those little flags to buoy 2. They're going to keep that on their left shoulder, and then again they're going to follow the little red flags that they'll be seeing out there, and the gates as well, and they're going to zigzag right through these islands. And this is I haven't paddled out there, but apparently there's some little wind waves and swells. There's a lot of reefs, a lot of exposed reefs, so there could be potential breakaway spots that they can get away through there. So and this is an amazing paddle. Like I don't think I've ever seen one like this with all these little islands. So they're going to hit buoy 3. They're going to keep that on their left shoulder. And right between buoy 3 and 4 is a water station. That's an aid station, which I would imagine they're going to be utilizing because of how hot and how humid it is. So they have the potential to stop there and grab some extra water and hydrate. And then as they come out of these small little islands again, they're going to make their way around, and they're going to left-hand turn around buoy 4. And then this is where it gets interesting, I think. I think this is where you're going to see still a group together, but then this downwind leg from 4 to 5 is where the race will be won. I think if Shakira is potentially with Lena, she may have an advantage there, but then you got a buoy turn around left-hand shoulder around 5, and then a brutal headwind finish. They're going to go straight towards the finish line, and I think there will be a buoy right at the front of the finish line, which they will right-hand shoulder turn and run across the finishing line on the beach.
Yeah, earlier we had set a buoy kind of far outside for number 6, and the contest organizers at the morning meeting and the briefing decided, you know what, this is far enough for them to go right back out, especially into the wind, right at the end of the race, and having to go out to halfway through the bay here, That buoy would have been on between the finish and closer actually to buoy number 4 than the finish line. So they're going to make a straight line from buoy 5 to the finish line. They'll have to go navigate around that pier, and I think that's a good call this morning.
Yeah, they may cut off half a kilometre or something like that, but 18 kilometres, 17.5 kilometres. At the end of the day, these girls are going to earn their money and earn their win. So it's going to be a tough race, and very exciting and technical and interesting race. Zigzagging in and out of all these little islands, which looks amazing. Makes me wish I was paddling.
Well, why didn't you paddle for Australia this year?
I didn't get selected.
Oh, come on, Jamie.
No, I've been living in the United States between Hawaii and California, so I'm not home at all anymore in Australia. So basically, I can't do the trials or anything like that, and I haven't been paddling too much either. So, it's same goes with Travis Grant. Travis is living in Hawaii now, so. But they've got 2 young kids. They got Lincoln Jews and Toby Cracknell, and they're going to do a great job. And it's good to see that Serving Australia, picking the young kids, the up and coming kids, and giving them a go. So, that's what it's all about, is letting the future come up and giving them a chance to show what they can do.
And rate the ISA SUP World Championships. You know.
Well, as we see, sorry, Bo, as we see a little surge here from Lena, and that's what I was talking about. Shakira may have been caught off guard here, and she has gone for it, and she's trying to get away early. This is a big move right now. This is, but as you can see, Shakira, wow, she just muscles away straight up, and you will not get rid of Shakira. I'm telling you right now, she is such a bull, and she's so so competitive that you're not going to drop her. But it looks like the paddler from Spain is just that one board length back, which is brutal. Right now, she has to work so hard to get over the little wash, and this is bad news for her right now. She needs to just regroup, stay right there, and wait for those lead two to slowly slow down again, and then she needs to surge back onto the tail of Shakira to get back in that pack.
See Team Mexico coming down into the beach. That was an exciting breakaway from Lena, and when she sees an option, she's going to go for it. Yeah,
she knows she wants to get away from Shakira. I mean, I think she probably would have not have heard of Shakira till yesterday, because Shakira's been out of the game for so long. So I'm sure she got a pleasant surprise when she's like, "Who's this?" And as we see, Itzia Riviero from Spain looks like she's just. The rubber band is stretched and it's slowly breaking. So, she's dropped back about 4 or 5 board lengths now, and I would imagine she's going to get swallowed up by the next group.
Yeah, I had the sheet on the pro paddlers. That's Laura Quickglass, the 30-year-old Spaniard, and look at the distance between group number 1 and group number 2, Jamie. And that's huge.
Yeah, and as we see on screen there, it looks like some prone paddlers. Looks like Carter and Geordie, and like I said, I think the distance the stand-up girls will probably still be the fastest, but into this sort of the headwind, the first leg, the prone girls will have an advantage, obviously, because they're out of the wind. So, I guess we didn't get to see the start of the prone, obviously, but we're going to try and give you the updates as good as we get them. So we're just waiting for supracer.com to give us a few updates via text, and we'll fill you in as soon as we know.
Let me ask you a question I was going to ask you about the ISA and compare these contests to like the Battle of the Paddle and some of the other international events that you've competed around the world. What is Fernando Aguirre making this so special? Why is the ISA World SUP and Pro and Paddleboarding Championship so unique and so different from others?
Well, for me, I just think it's the Olympic style athletes and the teams. For me, it's I've done 1 million paddleboard races, and they're all very about individual. Like you have your own little teams and groups that you go with, but at the end of the day, you're out there to win, and you've got to be very selfish sometimes to win. So for me, it was like when I was captain the first 2 years of Australia, I did not think about myself once. I was thinking about everyone else, and there was at one stage there, someone goes, "Hey, Jamie, you've got to race now," and I was like, "Oh wow, I totally forgot that I was even racing." So. For me, I was just so proud to be representing Australia, and I'm sure that every other athlete that's in their own country is the same thing. It's so I think that's what for me personally, that's what feels amazing, is that knowing that you're not just paddling for yourself. There are some team races that you're racing with the other competitors. So bringing that bond and bringing that Olympic style competition and athletes village and all that stuff, seeing everyone walking around in the team colours and flags, and Australia walking around with their boxing kangaroo, and the Mexicans with their wrestling masks on, and the South Africans with their horns, and it's just I think that's to me what is special and different about this. And Fernando's done a great job at making everyone really get into the spirit of that. And for the people that haven't showed up and haven't brought teams, then you're missing out. So make sure you get back next year.
Yeah, and we don't know the location and the site and for the 2015, but just keep in tune to the ISA calendar at isasurf.org. You can get all the information there, and there's still lots of events on the ISA calendar. They have the World Bodyboarding World Championships coming up in Chile in December, and of course the 50th anniversary of the World Surfing Games coming back to Peru, celebrating a lot of its roots. And of course Peru, very historical in the surfing history of surfing, and of course Felipe Palmar, the 1965 ISA World Champion, will be celebrated. Midget Farley, the very first ISA champion back in 1964 when it was held down in Australia. And back in '64, the categories were surfing, hot dogging, longboarding. I mean, they were just so different from what we see today. And now, 50 years later, we got SUP racing, SUP technical, prone racing, distance, marathon, and SUP surfing, and it's really come full circle.
It's amazing how things come full circle. That just makes me think of the Buffalo weekend at Makaha, you know, like what they do over there. You know, they go back to the belly boarding and the layer and all that stuff. So, you know, great to, you know, I say there's so much history, and if you're a fan of surfing and love history, then, you know, the ISA has plenty of it. So, great job, and, you know, I'm stoked to be a part of it, and, you know, even if I couldn't be a part of the racing this year, I wanted to be a part of it. So, I'm glad to be here and been able to watch and help out.
Now we're seeing a little bit of the girls going by these small islands. We see Laura from Spain really dropping off from that lead pack early, and it's already just only about half hour into the heat, 26:25 counting into this 18K race.
Yeah, and she's about to get swallowed up by, you know, I'm just guessing here, everyone back in Webland, but it looks like Jordan Mercer and Carter Graves for sure. Obviously, they're the two favourites, so looks like, you know, they're in the, you know, right there in your right-hand side of your screen. They're just about to head past that boat, and they potentially could be three there, I think. So, you know, I would imagine that could be the other girl from Spain from yesterday that had a great race, which is, you know, Itzia Riviero from Spain. So, you know, again, just speculation here. We don't have any confirmation on that, but from yesterday's results, I would think that could be the case.
And again, in the women's paddleboard, such an array of ages. From Peru, we've got Rocio Larangata, 50 years old, all the way down to Ashley Cochran from New Zealand, 19 years of age. So it's a vast variety of ages in the prone paddleboarding division, just as much as in the SUP distance race too.
Yeah, it's you know, again, that's you know, going back to about what's, you know, different about the ISA compared to normal paddleboard races. You're looking at right here, just the, you know, like you go to a paddleboard race in Australia, there's potentially Australians. You go to Hawaii, you've got, you know, Hawaii, some Australians, you know, but you come to ISA, you have like all these different countries, and you know, some countries I've never been to, and so it's awesome as we see all the countries coming to, you know, to get ready to support their team members coming into the finish. So be waiting a bit longer, but, you know, everyone's getting ready for a big finish, and, you know, some of these people are also preparing themselves for tomorrow's men's long distance race.
Yeah, Team Venezuela right there. You see their flags proudly flown there. And, yeah, the men will be doing the same course. We'll be seeing both prone and SUP distance race. Same course, same layout. And this is, I'm sure a lot of guys are, I don't know, Jamie, would you be on a boat watching out on the course a day before the race, or what would you be doing as one of the competitors tomorrow?
Yeah, if I'd be in the shade, I'd be hydrating, and yeah, I'd be staying out of the sun. I actually said to some of the girls last night, I said I would be preparing. I'd be preparing today like I was preparing for Molokai, just purely for the fact of the heat and the, you know, the potential. We didn't know if the start was going to be right on 9 o'clock, so. I was like, better to be over-prepared than under-prepared, and, you know, so if I was the guys, you know, I'd want to be down here supporting the girls, but I definitely would be keeping in the shade, you know, stretching and just, you know, it's going to be a brutal race tomorrow, so, you know, it's going to be one of those, it's not long enough to be super long distance, and it's not short enough to be a sprint, but it's going to be this in-between where there's going to be some surges, and, you know, the guys' race is going to be, I can just see it being lots of surges and lots of trying to be breakaways, and it's going to be a tough one.
Well, taking a look at the history of this race in the past 2 years, where it was hosted in Miraflores in Lima, Peru. Brandy Bastek won the 2012 for the United States, and she has not been back to compete for Team USA. Angela Jackson was a silver medalist in the first year, and Bridget van Aswegen from South Africa was third, with Barbara Brazil taking the copper. We see Edimar Luki from Venezuela in sixth, who's paddling today. And last year, Angela Jackson went from silver to gold last year to win. Olivia Piana from France won the silver. Shannon Bell from Canada. Both those ladies are not here. But Laura Quickglass from Spain, who is in that lead pack, now dropping down to third. She was the copper medal, fourth place last year, and she's in the top group right now. Barbara Brazil, fifth place last year for Brazil. Maria Bachmann, who's paddling for Great Britain, was sixth last year. So some repeat performers from last year coming back to this year. We started out with about 9 competitors 2 years ago. Now we're up to 15, so we're almost doubling the field, and that seems to be the growth. Dan Gravier was talking about on the webcast yesterday how 30-40% of SUP racing every year in the SUP world is growing at that range, and that's what we see about the competitors, 30-40% more participants, not only in the individual but in the team here at the ISA World Championships.
Yeah, and the big thing is just not only just the rise in the amount of people in the countries, but it's the quality of the competition, the quality of the competitors, and the existing competitors that are getting better from each year. And that's what I've seen from all these, from these last few years, is just the better competitors. So
we're going to take a short little break right here and throw down to Jody Nelson. Jody, what do you got?
Thanks, Bo. Yeah, down here with Pilar Diaz from Team Spain, and you were at the start line today, and kind of give us your perspective on how that start went.
Can't hear.
Yeah, that start was very interesting. It was actually in the flat within the marina, and everything went pretty smooth. The boat got a little bit on the way, but the girls did a pretty good job avoiding that. Very, very strong start.
And you're the team manager for Team Spain. Talk to us a little bit about Laura Keklis. She's in the lead pack right now, and you've been kind of helping her here as the team manager. And just give us a little insight on her.
Yeah, no, Laura's doing great. She got right off the bed, right behind Lena, and Lena in second place, and I think she's doing great. She's had a really good shot. Shakira is right there too. She's in the top 3. I think she can hang on to the pack and be right there with them. So we're really excited for her, and I think she really has a good shot at the medal.
What's the key to winning this race? It's long, it's hot, it's grueling. The preparation that goes into it with hydration and all that. What's the key to success in this race?
Yeah, for me, I think this is a complete survival race. I mean, the first few kilometers are going to determine the train and where the people stand. But I mean, towards the end, you're going to see a few of the competitors probably falling out, and then the hydration is going to play a key role on it. And then just the guys that are used to doing this type of distance are, they're going to prove their skills towards the end. I think Laura has a really good shot at that. She's a really good distance person, so we really have the hopes with her.
And your predictions right here at the finish line is going to be pretty grueling, with maybe possibly some headwind at the finish. What are your predictions for any fireworks at the end?
Yeah, I think the downwind is going to separate the train when they're coming down, and when they come back from the pier, there's a bit of an upwind that's probably going to put the guys together again, and then there's going to be a run to the finish. So I predict a pretty close thing with Shakira. I think Shakira is going to keep with Lena the whole time, and then hopefully Lara is in the mix, and I think we could see a running finish. Sure.
And the men's distance coming up tomorrow, how do you prepare for that?
Well, we're trying to do our best. We're lucky enough that the girls took the lead on this one, and they're doing it today, and they're kind of they'll tell us about it after they get here. But hydration, I think we're all trying to drink as much as we can and be as prepared as we can.
All right. Well, thank you for taking the time, Belar. Team Spain. Bo, we'll send it back to you in the booth.
All right, guys, welcome back. Here we are, right in the early stages of this long-distance SUP and paddleboard race women's event. And, as we were seeing before we went to that little interview with Jody and Belar, was Lena was still in front with Shakira hot on her tail. And I think we're going to cut to Chris Parker from SUP Race, are we, or...?
I'm just going to give you the updates. It's, we've got a cell phone communication. This is Dan Gavir. I've been on the line with Chris Parker for the last 30 minutes. We are 34 minutes exactly into the start of the race. And the word out there is that Shaq and Lena are out in front. There's 2 or 3 meters between them. I think they're side by side. And they're hitting some pretty stiff headwinds as they get into the top of this peninsula, if you will, and to the pinch between some of the islands. They're really getting a Venturi effect, so the headwinds are pushing upwards of 20 knots, so they're having to do a lot of work, but I'm sure they're stoked on the cooling that they're getting, Jamie, from that headwind. It sounds like they really dropped Laura, and the big news here is that Carter and Jordi and the paddler from Spain have caught Laura, and they're closing in on the lead SUP group. So like we talked about before, the prone has a little bit of an advantage in these upwind sections, so they might even have an opportunity to catch that lead SUP group.
Yeah, well, look, that was always going to happen into a stiff headwind. the prone paddlers are going to have an advantage. So they're definitely going to try and, those girls, you have to try and pick off Shaq and Lena, but, they're tough competitors. Once they get to the top of the course and start to, head around through those islands, I think the stand-ups will, get the advantage back. But, they're not racing each other, so really it doesn't matter right now about the prones are in their own race and the stand-ups are in their own race as well. But, good to see that, Geordie, Carter, and the girl from Spain is hanging in there for third place. So, when we get a visual of that, we'll get the exact updates. But as we see here, potentially, it looks like the bigs. That looks like the second chase group there. They're going to be trying to grind back up towards the third place getter there, and I'd imagine, within the next 15 to 20 minutes that, she'll get swallowed up, and the group will become one big group of about 6 or 7, and they'll be then trying to mow down Shaq and Lena.
Yeah, well, apparently Laura has been on her own. She's been doing a good job of keeping her pace from the chase group. The chase group being led out by Barbara Brazil, who's done the lion's share of the work. And, I think that chase group might do better to share some of that work. They could probably go a little bit faster rather than relying on one person to do all the work. And that can get to be a frustrating situation and cause maybe some rifts in the group, which might not help them work together as a team, Jamie. So those ladies need to communicate and share the load if they're going to all benefit from that.
Oh, 100%. If they want any chance of catching the front girls, they need to communicate and work as a group. So, but, in saying that, in a big group of 5 or 6, that's very hard. And, so, maybe a couple of the girls up the front, maybe that have raced together, they might have to take the sort of the work upon their shoulders to do that. So, but, and then, they may have already conceded first and second and like, hey, we're racing for third now. And they're in, so you don't know what they're thinking right now. But, it's really just, we're 37 minutes into the race. We're not even, we're probably,
quarter of the way.
just maybe like about a third of the way. That's not even a quarter of the way. So it's a long day out there, and anything can happen. And from past experience, if you bonk or have a bad section out there, the gap can close really fast. So I want to give a bit of a shout out to Bodie Chandro. He wants to big shout out for Lena Augustus. He said it's snowing there in the mountains in Canada today. So. What's up, Bodie? And thanks for the support watching online, cheering on Lena, and she's out there doing a great job.
Lena's got a huge support crew from North Van, and that's great to hear. And her new sponsor, SIC, this year has really come on the scene strong, known mostly for their downwinding boards, made most popular by the F-16 Mark Rappahorst out of Maui. Still custom building boards, but they've taken his most popular shapes into production now that they're kind of under the big umbrella of Flow. So I think that's been a great thing for them. We've seen Georges Kronstadt coming on very strong this year. And those guys have certainly put together a great team and made a big new push. Some more information for you on the race. Shaq and Lena definitely charging out front together. There was a little bit of spacing there. We thought maybe one or the other was trying to make a move, but every time Shaq makes a move, Lena is right there, and vice versa. And again, they're into some big headwinds. And the third place paddler in the paddleboard division from Spain, Itziar Riviero, bib number 119, is trying to hang with Carter and Geordie.
Yeah, as we see up on the screen, we do have in first Jordan Mercer from Australia, second Carter Craves from USA, and third is Itziar Abascal Riviero from Spain, and she impressed me yesterday. So she stayed with Geordie for that entire technical race. So really impressed to see her up there right now, and it'll be interesting to see how long all these girls stay together. So we could potentially see these girls catching up to the top 2 in the stand-up.
And with all the chop on the water, do you think that maybe Itziar's board, being as it's a little bit more of a traditional shape for waves, might be a little bit better than maybe the board that Jordy was on? Or what do you feel about the designs there? Does either of them have an advantage with their equipment?
I don't think so right now into the headwind. Potentially just purely because whoever's in the front, and when you're into a headwind and you're drafting, it becomes even more of an advantage to be on the tail. So you're doing it probably 40% easier. So that the advantage of potentially 2 or 3 or 4 or 5% of the board sort of gets null and void, negated. So but the big thing will be potentially more when they start to go downwind. So as we see a couple of the locals here going out and trying out a few boards at the finish line. So good to see they're trying to get on the prone bark boards there, and there we go.
Little shoulder warm up there.
It's a little harder than it looks, boys?
Yeah, you can see how tippy those boards are right there as we look on to some of the local crew here trying it out. Of course, in that laying down position is much easier than that kneeling position, obviously, with the higher center of gravity. And is there a ratio on how much they're laying down or sitting up, or is it just you're feeling it out and you just get little cues from the water or your body on what to do next, Jamie?
Yeah, it's look, they'll probably have a tendency to get more to their stomachs, on the prone when they're heading into the wind. It's still faster to be on your knees, but you definitely want to be on your stomach a fair bit of the time. So as we're going to cut to Jody Nelson down the beach with an interview. Take it away, Jody.
Thanks, Jamie. Yeah, down here with Shane Scogan from Team USA and one of the prone paddlers competing in the distance race. And Shane, you were at the start line for the prone race. Tell us a little bit about how that unfolded.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting area because it's in the inlets and there's still a little bit of residual wind left over from yesterday. So that's going to help us break the path apart a little bit. Somebody surges up, have a little bit, basically with somebody else's wake. It's going to be a big part of the race. But coming off the line, it looked like Jordy used their sprint skills to get out ahead and be in a comfortable position. Carter lined up on the exact opposite end of the line, which is not normally a tactical advantage. But it seems like the Spanish gal who was drafting off Jordy earlier, the New Zealand gal and Carter all kind of clumped up, and then it was their job to break the rest of the pack off and work amongst themselves.
Now, talk to us a little bit about the advantages to prone paddling, especially in these headwinds. We got word that the prone front pack of the prone paddlers have caught up with the lead pack of the stand-up paddlers, and maybe by now even surpassed them. But give us a little advantage or vantage point of the prone paddlers and the headwind conditions.
I think there's a couple different factors that you're dealing with. You're dealing with fighting the surface area of your body against whatever wind's moving, and it's still light, but you're a bit of a sail when you're paddling up top. But then also when you're in this heat and you're not from this climate, it's really nice to get that wash off the front of your board when you're dealing with your heat exhaustion and your hydration. So I can see how over a 2-hour race that's going to be an advantage. We'll see how it goes once they turn into the bump, though, if some of the stand-up guys start linking up runs.
And your predictions for the finish, we saw yesterday, this shallow finish line here. What's the strategy for getting in and sprint to the finish line?
The strategy is if you are close with somebody, to get somebody else to take the reins and do the workload, and then try and get a good angle on that buoy, a good inside line, and then have a fair assessment of where the water's shallow enough to run away. The Spanish gal, the Kiwi gal, and Jordy are all very experienced surf racers, it seems like, and they know how to get a jump, a bunny hop, and good high knee coming in. Carter's pretty new to that, so it's going to be advantageous for her to try and break somebody in that upwind to create some space for her coming in.
All right, well, thanks for giving us some input here, Shane, and a perspective on the start line, and we'll send it back to you guys in the booth.
All right, thank you, Jody, and great to hear from Shane Scoggins. He'll be one of the favourites tomorrow going into the men's prone long distance race. And as supracer.com, Chris from supracer.com has just given us a little bit of an update here, and he's saying that they've just got into a really exposed section right now. Some big chop rolling in from the lake. He said that the chase group of 5, which is that group of 5 that we said were chasing the front 2 girls, are breaking up. The France girl it just fell in and lost their group, and the USA and Brazil have dropped the UK and Venezuela's paddlers. So Spain is the Spain girl is hanging on in no man's land in third place, and it's really messy conditions and making drafting really difficult right now. So he's just said that it's really exposed at the moment and really tough conditions. So, but USA are doing a stellar job.
All right. Great. Thank you to Chris Parker and SUPRacer.com. We do have him on a live call throughout the whole race here. We're approximately 46 minutes into it, Jamie. So we're probably approaching a third of the way mark, and this is probably where the paddlers are really starting to feel it a little bit in the legs and the shoulders and the arms, maybe some sweat dripping into their eyes, and trying to get a little bit of hydration going and making sure not to forget to take in those fluids.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what it's like outside right now, but it looks like the wind potentially could be making it a little bit cooler for them going into the headwind. So they might be liking it. They might be liking, obviously a headwind's tougher. Stand-up paddling, there's nothing worse than paddling into a stiff headwind or a sort of a cross 45-degree wind. We all know that. But, today with it being so, it's, with the humidity in that, they just might, like this little bit of a headwind just to cool them down a bit. So, if you... It's just going to be a tough race. These girls are just already now they're into the grind. They've felt each other out. They've tried to break each other, and they'll be now they'll be thinking about where can I get an advantage? Where am I going to make my move? And how am I going to do it? So as we've just sort of lost the live feed for a little bit at the moment. So
we're relying on our telecommunication system here to bring you the live updates, and it looked like Lena got a little bit frustrated with the photo boat there right off the finish. It was right there in the way. She was looking for a really hot start, and that she had apparently almost run into the back of the boat there, and I think kind of a little bit of that frustration is now coming out in her stroke, and I think she's going to be a hard one to beat today, I think, as she's getting fired up, and she's got Shaq on her tail, and, it's just more fuel for the fire. So it's going to be a great battle between those two. We'll have to see if Laura can hold her own in between the groups. I don't know if the chase group has swallowed up Laura yet, but last we heard she had a bit of a gap there just right in between the lead group and the chase group.
Cool. Well, I think we're going to cut to a little piece on Bridget Van Aswen from South Africa.
Hi, my name is Bridget Van Aswegen. I'm from Cape Town, South Africa. I normally practice my stand-up paddling in Bloberg in Cape Town, between Bloberg and Robben Island. And I just want to invite all my friends and family back home to watch live on the ISA website.
What's happening, Chris?
Yeah, great little segment on Bridget there, and she's out there hanging on as good as she can, and as we're trying to get the the back the paddlers just a little bit further back, we're trying our best to get the the bib numbers and find out who it is. So bear with us, but if you want, if you can go to my Twitter feed and tag ISA Surfing and post some questions, and if you want to have anything to ask us or anything about the race or about paddling in general, give us a hit on the Twitter, and we'll do our best to answer the questions throughout the live feed, and anything we can do to make this more enjoyable for you guys, we're willing to help. So tag ISA Surfing on Twitter and shoot away. So I think Chris Parker's saying that Lena has not been swallowed up yet by the prone paddlers. So they'll be definitely the stand-ups will be definitely just trying to can't wait to get up to around buoy 2 there, and then finally try and get the wind to a little bit at their tail and have the advantage for them.
Absolutely, and the latest update is that Shaq and Lena are definitely still together. Laura holding her own, but the big news is that USA's Shea and Barbara Brazil have broken away from the chase pack. So now they have broken away from the chase pack. So starting to get into some different wind direction there as they head into the islands, and actually starting to catch a little bit of bump and some runs. So that might be enough to sort them out. But the overall situation is Shaq, Lena, and then the paddleboarders of Jordy and Carter, who have also dropped Itziar. So now it's Jordy and Carter working together, and Itziar is kind of on her own in no man's land out there. So that's got to be a little bit more lonely out there, because I know how it feels to get dropped and have that margin where you know you're probably not going to catch the leaders, but you're also trying to pace yourself in front of a 3 or 4 person group that's drafting together, and it can be a little demoralizing. You go through a lot of scenarios in your head, and you got to break through a lot of walls and a lot of barriers, and really that's what these distance races are about, is meeting the challenges both physically and mentally, and being able to break through those and keep your pace going, and just it takes as much strength as it does mental fortitude.
Yeah, it looks like it's Chris Parker's just said it is a 2-girl race in both the Pro and the SUP right now, but the young girl, Shay Fody from USA, doing a stellar job. She's only, I think, about 15 years old, so from Dana Point, California, and her and Barbara Brazil, Chris is just relayed back looking very strong. So, they potentially look like they could swallow up the Spanish girl. It seems that the 2 Spanish paddlers were both dropped from the pack and now both in no man's land, which is it's a lonely place to be, is in between trying to catch the first group and having the second group catch you. So sometimes it's better just to back it off and then get back with the third group. But I think we're going to cut to a commercial break right now, and we'll be back. Check it out.
As the non-profit world governing body for surfing, recognized by the IOC, the ISA has been crowning surfing world champions since 1964 and continues to develop and expand the sport of surfing. Take my hand if you know what I'm going through. Take my hand if you know where I'm humble beginnings off the shores of Hawaii and Polynesia to massive global expansion, surfing is ready for the sporting world's greatest stage. Join us.
And welcome back to Lake Nicaragua. My name's Dan Gavir. I'm sitting here with Jamie Mitchell here at the 2014 ISA World Stand-Up Paddle and Paddleboard Championships. We are well into the distance race, and we're going to toss it down to Jody on the beach with a little explanation on some of the equipment.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, down here with Reese Burrows and Casper Steinfath. And Reese competed for Team Australia in the prone paddleboard. Casper, our defending gold medalist from last year in the technical race. And, yeah, I just wanted to kind of break down the differences between the boards. And, Reese, talk to us about the prone paddling. It's been around forever. And just give us a little insight
hey Dave, is there any way we
onto
can get
the
some
equipment.
sound in our headsets?
Yeah, it's been around for a while. My board's more of there's the Surf Life Saving shape, which is a 10.6.
Thank you.
It's 10.6 foot, and yeah, my nose is more shaped like a clubby just because it handles the chop better. But most 12 foots will have the
2009. She's won the prone 32-mile paddleboard race in Molokai to Oahu. So she's she can do it all. And as we see her there, she knows how to wash ride. She's she's very skillful, a competitor, and knows all the tricks of the trade. So
you can see him here getting a little bit of bump ride there. So there's a little bit of spacing here, but you got to wait for the bump. You don't need to accelerate when you don't have the glide, but also it can get a little nerve-wracking because the paddler in front of you might be able to pull a board length or two in front, and then you're kind of waiting impatiently for the next bump to ride, and you want to stay on the wash, but you also want to take advantage of the bump. So it looks like they're getting some little runners here, and that's definitely gonna probably be to their advantage. I think if they keep up this pace, it's probably a faster pace than the chase group. So if they can work together, I think that they'll also put a greater margin between them and the chase group. Stand-up paddle drafting doesn't work exactly the same as cycling, where when you get a bigger pack, the draft pack tends to move quite a bit faster than the lead pack always. Whereas in stand-up, that isn't necessarily the case. So it's a much different deal, especially if the chase group isn't sharing the load. Also, when you get dropped off the lead on a bicycle, you tend to drift quite a ways back, and it's easier to make it up. In a stand-up, it's not as easy to make it up, so you might not want to go from the very first of the pack all the way back 7 or 8 places. You might just want to go back 1 or 2 places so that you're not separating yourself distance-wise, because making up 5 or 6 board lengths on a stand-up paddleboard takes a lot more energy than it might on a bicycle. So there's some similarities in the draft and riding the wash in stand-up paddling as there is in cycling, but there's probably more differences.
Yeah, well, look at right now. It looks super flat water. They've come out of that headwind, and now they're in a totally flat water. The drafting becomes a lot easier when it's like this, and that's where Geordie, a smart competitor as well, she probably realized that, and she wanted to get Carter off her tail before they got into this flat water section. So Geordie being the competitor she is, Carter will. But then again, Catalina Classic, she loves the flat water. So can she claw her way back up and potentially get back under Geordie's tail and or pass her? So we will see. But right now, you can see the two girls, just doing it, quite easily out in front right now. Shakira on the tail, probably working at 70% now. Lena's, doing it, more of the work, and as you'll see, Lena just look back and looking for that. Hey, why don't you come and go to the lead, Shaq?
Yeah.
So
take a pull. Take a pull.
Yeah, but Shaq won't be one to shirk her workload. She'll definitely do her fair share. So I can't wait to see these girls get out into the exposed, that so-called downwind leg, and see what happens there, because that's when definitely they're both going to try and make a move. So I would imagine that the downwind suits Shaq a touch more just from experience, but I'd say that the upwind back up to the final turn will probably favour Lena, just purely on the fact that she's been paddling stronger. So. Okay, we're going to drop down and see Jody Nelson for an update.
Yeah, guys, I had a good chance to catch up with Lena last night, and it's an incredible story. She's been a competitive athlete since she was 6 years old as a gymnast, and then got into mountain biking, adventure racing, and, she was a full-time teacher living in China about a year ago, and came back to Canada, started teaching again, and her husband and her had a good sit down, and they decided, hey, you're getting pretty good at this stand-up paddling thing. Why don't you give it a go? So she's been dedicated 100% to racing the last 4 months, and going to see if she can, make a career out of this. And the cool part about it, Jamie and Dan, is that she's got a whole school watching her, a bunch of little girls and boys and teachers that are watching Lena go out and pursue her dream and really go for it. So she's got a lot of support from her husband, as well as all the students at her old school that she used to work at. So it's a really cool story, and I'm sure we'll catch up with her more after the race. So yeah, just a little insight there I wanted to give you guys.
Yeah, and I know Lena, you know, she's really come up through the ranks, and from all her Facebook posts, I know she's been working really hard, and so I was talking to her a little bit too, and you know, being favored to win, she said it's a big weight on her shoulders. You know, she doesn't necessarily like being favored to win. Everyone's like, you're gonna do it, you're gonna win, and that just is adding to the stress and adding to you know, the expectations that she feels like she may have to live up to. But, you know, she's always got a smile on her face. She's a fierce competitor. And, again, it's just going to be between Shakira and Lena all the way down to the wire here. Unless one of them can make a big move, I think they're going to do whatever it takes to stick with each other till possibly a sprint finish at the end. And the finish will be very similar to our technical races. You have to finish with your paddle in control in hand. There will be no diving across the finish line. The finish is exactly when the mid part of the torso crosses the line, not necessarily the timing chip that's on the ankle. We have cameras on the finish line as we take a shot there, so we're going to have video cameras there. We have several line judges as well as the timing chip, so we've got a lot of duplication there to make sure that we get an accurate time and also an accurate judgment. And if there's any questions at all, then we'll go to the camera.
Yeah, and you know, getting back to Lena, when you start winning paddleboard races, get used to having that target on the back, and you know, that's part of racing, and she's going to have to, you know, that's part of being a champion, is having that pressure and dealing with it. So today's going to be a great test for her because she has come in as favourite, but you know, she wasn't counting on. I'm pretty sure she wasn't counting on a girl from Australia called Shakira Westrop to be there. So we'll see what she's made of, and if she can pull it off. So as we look out there to Lake Nicaragua and those nice windy conditions, and here we are live in the booth. So I'm Jamie Mitchell, Dan Gravier, and we do have an interesting race on our hands, an interesting battle. It's nearly the exact same for the prone and the SUP just until a minute ago when Geordie dropped Carter.
Absolutely, and it's great to see the women constantly closing the gap between the men. We see several times when we have starts with the women and the men at the same time, women coming in the top 10 field, sometimes even leading the field out. So I think it's a great inspiration for all the women out there, and thanks to these paddling events, they may even have an advantage a lot of times. The lower center of gravity, you know, the technique stuff is really where it's at. It's not a sport about your strength, which we get so much where people, hey, stand-up paddling looks cool. Don't you have to be really strong to do that? Don't you have to have crazy balance and a six-pack? And it's like, no, it's pretty easy. You may get that after you do it for a while, certainly, especially if you get into it, but it's not required. And so I really think for this racing, it's a game of technique and strategy and using as much your head as it is your body.
Yeah, I like the fact that the girls have got their own race and they're able to just race themselves and not have the guys in the mix and getting in the way too. So, you know, I really like that, and I'm glad that the ISA have, you know, separated the men's from the women's. I think that's a really nice thing to do. So, congrats on the ISA for doing that. But you know, just another little update from Chris Parker from supracer.com, and you know, you're saying that Laura is just hanging on for dear life in third place, and but Shay and Barbara from USA and Brazil are closing in very rapidly. So Spain hanging on for dear life in third place, and then, you know, potentially looking at you know, for the third and fourth places, we could see a, you know, sprint of three. So still a long way to go, but, you know, we're still only 1 hour and 15 minutes into the race, and, you know, I think we've still got around about probably, you know, 1 hour to go until we're going to see the leader. We'll actually see the leaders earlier than that heading past us, but you know, until we see them coming to that final buoy turn, I think will be around about another hour. So still plenty can happen, and who knows what the wind's going to do. It's Murphy's Law that the wind will probably back down as they come around for the downwind leg, and they will have a headwind and then no wind. But hopefully not. Hopefully we can see some wind, and we can let the girls go out on their own and chase some swells and see may the best girl win.
Absolutely. And you got to think, what are the guys doing to prepare today, Jamie? Certainly they're watching this race with a lot of intensity. They're cheering on their teammates, but they're also trying to gleaming and take any bits of strategy, any bits of information they can to help them with their race tomorrow. But they're certainly already preparing for that, and maybe they're going to gain a little bit of information here. If you're racing tomorrow, what would you be doing today?
Today I would be in the air conditioning. I'd be resting up. I'd be hydrating and be watching TV. And I'd also, I would be speaking to Chris from SUP Racer, because he's been on the boat the whole day, so he knows exactly the course. You're going to get, realistically get the same conditions. So I'd be talking to someone that saw the race. I'd be asking about, where's a good time to break? Is there what was it like here? What was it like there? And I would have studied the course, and I would have been looking at getting as much information to find out where sections of the course to rest and where the sections are to maybe attack. So but like I say, a paddleboard race is not just about paddling. There's a lot more that goes into it, and for me anyway, I like to know as much as I can about my competitors and the course and what I'm going to get myself into. So, as well as I'd be talking. For me, if I was racing, I'd be talking to Shakira, because she's just raced. She's from my country. She's just done the course. America, you'd be talking to the American paddler and asking, hey, how was it here? How was it there? Was there a section that you think you could break away? All those things. So, before the girls get too tired and pass out, I'd be going up and asking them as many questions as I could.
Absolutely. Well, that'll be interesting. And just on another note, tomorrow the race will be exactly the same. So we're not changing the race. We're not changing the board class or anything. We will be on 12.6s tomorrow, if you're wondering out there, because we've seen a proliferation of that 14-foot board class work its way into the stand-up paddle thing. I think a lot of that was because maybe the larger paddlers thought they were at a bit of a disadvantage. And we see a lot of distance races where the women are on 12.6 and the men are on 14, but they're going the same distance. So it's, I always think, why are we making the ladies work harder on slower boards to go the same distance? But it sounds like we might have Jody down on the beach with Fernanda Stala. So if they're ready, we'll toss it on down to them.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, down here actually with ISA President Fernando Aguirre. And Fernando, this is the first time we've had a unique race like this for the ISA World Stand-Up Paddle and Paddleboard Championships. And just give us your thoughts on, you were at the start line, and give us your thoughts on how this is all unfolding today.
I think it's, novelty and change is good for everybody. Kind of the end of happiness starts when you don't look for novelty in your life. You don't start looking for changes, for challenges. And I think the moving from the ocean, which was the first two World Champions were in Peru, which were great events, but they were both, let's say, mixed together. No? So we got races and surf and races, kind of every day, a little bit of everything. It was nice, but as you know, a lot of the racing doesn't happen on the ocean. A lot of the races in the world happen in rivers, in lakes, in flat waters, in seas or bays. So we thought, okay, it's like Nicaragua has one of the most unique and rarest flatwater lakes in the world. So we came and visited, and we discovered that there was an area full of islets, which were caused when one of the big volcanoes here exploded. I don't know how many million years ago, exploded and created these islands. So it's like a lot like a swampy almost, even with the monkeys on the islands. It's very, very. So we said, this is great. This is something of Nicaragua. We promoted Nicaragua, the ocean, the incredible offshore conditions and the waves for a few years, and we've done great. Our partners here are very happy about what we've done. But this year we said, let's promote something else. So we happen to be in Granada, which is a town. It's around 100,000 people. It's one of the oldest cities in the whole continent, in the whole Americas. It's from the 1520s. So this was built on the side of the lake. Obviously, the Spaniards crossed the lake and said, oh yeah, here, we'll put up a city here, without probably knowing that they were only like 15 miles from the sea. So it became almost like a natural to come here. And I think racers love it because it is different. It's a challenging. Nobody feels at home. So it means that there's nobody really that has been training here, although some of the teams have been here already and were here for the last week. So it's a very, very great idea. And for me, it's kind of a preview of things to come. Whenever we can, we'll do things that are different from the past. So the World Champions is not just the gathering of all the best athletes of the world, but it's also the gathering of the best racers in the world, going to a different place, a place they haven't been.
Now, every year there's unique stories that come out of the World Games, and in all the ISA World Games. What's been your standout story so far this year? Something that's really touched you in your heart, or really stood out to you as an incredible story?
Well, it's not very difficult to touch my heart because I'm such a butter block under the sun. But I just love, for example, the story of there are people that have been living in these islands for hundreds of years, and the only way, of course, of moving around the islands is basically paddling on different vessels, canoes, piraguas they call them in Spanish. And so some of these guys, only 2 weeks ago, we bought SUP racing boards. We did a 50-50 copay with the tourist authority in Nicaragua. So we brought 15 of the best racing boards, the best one that you can buy, many money can buy, which here is like, it's like, I don't know, you want to teach your kids how to race, and suddenly this guy shows up with 15 Ferraris to train for racing. So these guys started practicing on some of these boards, and they're amazing. And yesterday 2 of them made it to the finals. So this is a surprise because these are people that have not been SUP racing ever in their life, and they only been on board for 10 days, and suddenly they are in the final of the World Championship. So this is a great story. But I love also, the Tahitian boy that won the SUP surf, only 17-year-old. And he got 2 older gentlemen with him, which I didn't know exactly who they were. I arrived the evening before, and one was kind of like his trainer or friend, maybe 20 years older, and then another guy that looked maybe like 40 years older than him, or 35 years older. That was actually his grandfather. So I said, "Where you are in?" Actually, I asked him. I told him he was the 3rd generation surfer, the champion. I said, "No, the 4th. His great grandfather surfs. I am the grandfather, I surf. My son, his dad surfs, and he surfs." So I asked him, I said, so how long have you been, SUP surfing? I said, well, I started shortboarding like all of us, and then I really loved longboard, so I went into longboard, and one day, I think a couple of years ago, my dad brought a SUP, the first SUP, not a very specific or super great board, but a SUP, and I said, why not try it? And I've been supping on waves in Tahiti, of all places, which are challenging waves for any activity. So it's a great story of a 17-year-old, and I know a lot of the times, SUP, both surfing and racing, gets a little bit of the rap that it's okay, it's older guys that are not good for some other activities in the water. Now they race, but in reality, that's not the case. When the male was a 17-year-old world champion we have right now, and the female is a 20-year-old world champion.
Yeah, well, pretty cool. Lots of great stories out there, and I know we've got a lot of young racers out on the course right now. Shay out of California, just 15 years old, and the list goes on. And we'll send it back to you guys in the booth. Thanks, Fernando, for catching up with you, and we'll get you guys updated on the race. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, Jody, and thank you very much, Fernando Aguirre, the ISA president. There's a shot of our 2 leaders, and just a little bit, are they parallel? It looks like they're parallel paddling right now, Jamie.
Yeah, well, Chris Parker from SUP Race has just given me the update that they're on their way back. They're about 500 metres past buoy 4, and Shaq is trying to make a move, and that is Shakira there. She's about a board length in front, but there doesn't look like there's too much downwind going on there. But there's just enough little bump in the ocean that as you see Shaq there, just a little bit of acceleration, and Lena coming back up. So, yeah, this is, potentially, if they don't separate themselves enough now, it's going to be a brutal back upwind leg and then a sprint to the finish line. So, we could, realistically, Bo, we could see a sprint finish, like, off the boards.
And where have I seen that in the past? Deja vu last year, you and Casper?
Deja vu, but we love it. It makes it exciting, and let's hope that we can get a sprint finish as we see all the kids from school coming down to watch the finals. That's awesome. I wonder if they've got the It is a Friday, so maybe they've got the half the day off to come down and watch the final here.
I wouldn't be surprised if ISA President Fernando Legale declared it a holiday for the kids at the school for this ISA SUP and Pro and Paddleboarding World Championships. We'd like to thank all of our presenting sponsors and co-sponsors here. We're being presented by Intour, Nicaragua's Ministry of Tourism, being sponsored by Avica and Voss TV and Tigo and Channel 6 in Nicaragua, LuxDev, the European Union, Viva Nicaragua, Channel 13. Our media partners, of course, include SUPRacer.com, Surfos, Latin America's leading surf publication, Passion Extrema on Fox Sports Latin America, SUP Club, Waves Brazil, Surfers Village, and last but not least, StandUpLatino.com. Philip Mueller and company doing a fine job over on the Spanish side. And here's our course. So, Jamie, you're saying our top 2 leaders are just past buoy 4, so they're on their downwind leg to buoy number 5.
Yeah, that's right. They're probably about 750 meters from buoy 4 towards buoy 5. So, and I'm not sure how long that stretch is there, but they're definitely on the back end of this course. And this is, like I said before, if I believe the best chance for Shakira to win is to try and break away here, but then she'll have to go it alone. Up into the wind. So, she may be thinking now, oh, you know what, let's just conserve and I can sit on the tail and maybe, conserve back up. And then Lena might be saying the same thing. So right now it's just as much as it's, the strength and technique, it's also, what strategy are they going to have as Lena has put a move on Shaq. So, from what I'm seeing here, there's going to be no real advantage. And, I think it's going to be a dog-eat-dog fight to the finish.
Well, here in the choppier waters, you're not seeing the draft because it's not effective.
No, it's not. And, look, Lena's super strong, and that's what I was a little bit worried about with Shaq was that, her lack of racing and lack of, as we see Lena putting on a big move right now. So Shaq needs to try and, retaliate to that and not let her get that, gap too much. And so she needs to at least definitely get onto her tail if they do turn that left-hand turn and back into the wind so she can regroup. But Lena right now putting on the power and, as we would expect, as we see a long-distance view there, and that's a nice pulled-back view there. That looks like it's about 50 yards. So, Shakira needs to put a sprint on or Lena is going to take this race.
Well, Jamie, you predicted this morning between buoy marker number 4 and 5 is where the race was going to be won.
And right now, Lena is doing a great job. And this is a really good view because you can see the surging. The up close, the angle wasn't great, but you see Shaq now. She's closed the gap a touch. She's obviously just got a nice little run. Lena might have had a flat spot. As you see Shaq, wow, all of a sudden that's a great shot there. Like now she's back. And Shaq will not give up, and she's now back on the tail of Lena. So that's what she's thinking right now. She's not thinking about trying to get in front as Lena goes back another board length in front. But, Shaq just gets a run right back up to Lena. So, this is going to be back and forth. This is great racing, and, this is, it's exciting. You can tell in our voice this is where it is as Shaq goes straight past Lena now. So these two are going to battle it out.
Well, just like any type of open race, whether it's in the ocean or in the lake, there's good, clean water, and then there's bumpy, choppy water, and sometimes you just luck into it.
Yeah, you see a lot of the downwind races. Someone gets a good run, they get in front, then the next guy gets it, he goes in front, and they battle back and forth. So it's amazing. And I'll just go to an update here, Bo, in the SUP race distance. Obviously in first we have Australia and Canada with a 500-meter gap back to Spain. The Spain competitor, as we see the prone, Geordie Mercer on screen there, and she's got a huge gap, so it looks like she's going to paddle to victory. But Spain's hanging on for dear life for a 30-meter gap, and then Brazil and the USA are in 4th and 5th, closing the gap on Spain. Then there's a 100-meter gap to France, then another 500-meter gap back to the UK paddler, which is Marie Buchanan, and 8th back to Venezuela.
Yeah, so your top 3 are as follows: Shakira Westorp, along with Lena.
As we see, looks like a prone Geordie there. Looks like she's gone into 3rd overall, and that could be the Spanish paddler there in 3rd place.
Laura Quick last. There's she in third. You can see Barbara Brazil just off screen there. She was in fifth place. And Shea Fowdy, the 15-year-old from the United States, from California, very much in it. And her first competition at the ISA World Championships.
Yeah, so look, this is really exciting here now because, you do have, Team Spain in third, and she's just, it's maybe good that she's got Geordie in front. She has something to chase. As you see, Shea and Barbara working together, and they're trying to close the gap to get to that third place. So, one of these three paddlers are going to miss out on a medal here.
Exactly. So that's what I was getting at, because Barbara and Shea, they're fighting for that copper medal right now. Yeah. Or if they could catch Laura for third place, they could overtake her.
Yeah, and right now, hopefully, they're not thinking about fourth. They're focused on they're looking at let's forget about fourth. We want this bronze medal, and so that's what they should be focused on. And but it's a gap. It's a couple of 100 meters there. So these girls are gonna battle it out, and then if they can't catch out, then there's going to be another great finish for the copper medal.
Yeah, well, this is what the racing is all about. And when you're in races, usually when you're in the middle of the pack, the back of the pack, or in the second group, you're always trying to chase down the person in front of you.
Yeah, you are. And as we see, it looks like Barbara doing very, very well in the bumps there. She's just put a nice little spurt on, and Brazil have some nice downwind. Wow, if this is, I think we're back to the leaders here, and if that's the case, that's Lena has put a big gap, or is that the gap to, not quite sure if that's Lena and Shaq there, or if that's the gap back to Spain and the Brazilian, but to me it looks like that could be Lena that's put the hammer down and has dropped Shakira, so there's a little bit hazy, the picture there, but they're coming down to that bottom marker, buoy number 5, and they will do a left-hand buoy turn, and then paddle back up into that headwind, take a right-hand turn around buoy 6 and straight into the finish line as we hit the 1 hour 32 mark. And I got a feeling it's going to be a little bit faster than we expected. So, but this last upwind leg will be brutal. The hardest way to finish a race, just like the Molokai race, is into a stiff headwind.
Well, Jamie, what are these ladies feeling physically? The burn, the fatigue, the heat?
Right now, they are, they're overheating. Potentially, they have no water, so they're running on no fluids. They've come out of now they've got to really use their legs and they stabilize the muscles to not fall in chasing the bumps, because on the 12.6s, they're probably on narrow boards. So now their legs are burning. And if they're trying to catch some bumps, they're using their board, their legs like a longboard, walking up and back. So their legs are just burning, and then they're going to turn around and just have to grind up into a headwind. So this is a brutal race, and but the girls, from the look of their stroke rate, they are going for it and they're not giving up. So this is the first and second battle, to third, fourth, and fifth. This is a great race, and. Wow, the ISA has turned on an amazing course, and these girls are not disappointing.
Yeah, they're performing 110% out here, and developing good techniques and training is leading up to these ladies being out in front. And of course, SUP racing, very much a core training workout, and it all starts with your abs and everything else. You were talking about the legs, how they're being burned, but if your center and your core of your body is not in shape for this race, you're going to have problems.
It's connecting your stroke to your core and linking them all together, using your hips, using everything. And then these girls right now, this is where technique comes into play. You need to be breathing well. You need to be relaxing. This is where you need your stroke not to falter. You need your stroke to be perfect right now, and it's the hardest time of the race for it to do that. But the girls need to regroup and try and focus on a nice, nice long stroke and catching these swells and resting and recovering. So,
is there like a special place you go to in a race like this when you're getting down towards the end? Do you think of an AC/DC song? Do you think of one of your favorite songs to get you through, some of these hard parts, or is there something that motivates you?
For me, it was just pure. I just hated losing. I said to myself, I'd rather die than lose, and I just, so for me, I just really just went to a place of where, you know, I just dug down deep and tried to get to a place where I'd never been before. And, you know, for me, you know, that was thinking about, you know, the sacrifice that I'd made and all the hard training I'd done and all the, you know, all those things that I'd sacrificed to be in that spot. But, you know, Lena, as we see right now, is just heading past that jetty down into the mark, and she has pulled away from Shakira. So Team Canada, Lena has pulled away, and she's looking super strong. You know, as you see when you do get in front, her strokes gone up. You know, her body posture. You can see the body language is. You know, you just get this second wind when you know you're in front and you're potentially going to win the race. So, right now she's feeling invincible. You know, she's not thinking about, you know, necessarily winning the race, but, you know, she's grinding it out right now, and she has definitely put a decent gap on Shakira right now. Wow, she has definitely opened the gap up. That's, you know, that's a good 200 meters there. So, you know, right now it's looking like, you know, Lena from, you know, Team Canada is going to take this out.
Yeah, and her equipment, Mark Rapperhorse shaping her board, the Sandwich Island composite boards out of Maui from, you know, one of the best training grounds in the world for SUP racing. The Yolokai happening this weekend, the downwinder, and got reports from the Hawaii webcast that, hey, those guys are experiencing light and variable winds, so they're not going to have a true downwinder coming up this weekend. But, you know, Mark making great equipment for Lena right here.
Yeah, look, Mark's the master of making downwind boards, and he's obviously now been able to focus on making some flat water boards and some race, you know, boards, 12, 6, and 14s, and, you know, obviously they're working great. And if they are going to have an advantage anywhere, it's going to be downwind, which we're seeing now. So, you know, Lena's just doing a great job, and you know, apparently, yeah, we just had one confirmation that maybe we've had one girl pull out of the SUP race. So we don't know who that is, but you know, Chris from SUP race has said that she's in the safety boat and she's okay. So, you know, that's to be expected in a grueling race with the heat like this.
Yeah, well, they're prepared. They have EMT paramedics. They have bags of ice on the medic boat, and they're prepared for this. And quite a few of the race managers were talking to Barrett Tester and Kelly French about, you know, this type of condition with the heat, with the hot conditions out in the Lake Nicaragua. They were anticipating this. So 15 girls started the SUP race. 13 girls started the prone paddleboard race. So we knew potential of some pullouts. Could even happen to the men coming up on their race tomorrow too.
Yeah, and just a couple of we got a couple of, you know, emails here just asking Ali Pereira, is there any chance of finding out how the rest of the field are doing, rather than just the two top ladies? Well, we are trying to find out, but with limited resources, you know, we have the boat up the lead there, so we do have the top 7. We will read out the lead right there, but we are trying to do the best that we can. So. And Barrett Tester's wife, Julia Jones Tester, just wanting to say hi from Silverado in California, watching the webcast. Stoked to see you guys. Go race team officials, go Team USA. So,
and here's another shout out, Dion, being absolutely shout out to everyone in the support of the fundraisers and the efforts for everybody here in Nicaragua. So thanks, Dion.
And now we have, yeah, just we have Lena branding that bottom, and wow, Shakira was just come out of the. It's not over yet. Shakira's just closed that gap, you know, but she's going to need to get around that buoy turn. But Lena still has a decent gap there. Shaq's had a terrible turn there, and that's going to hurt her a lot there. But you know, Lena, is going to be super strong into the headwind, and I can't really see her, you know, getting beat into this last stretch here. But you know, it's not over, as they say to the fat lady sings. So.
And we can see Jordan Mercer just to the right of the screen. So Australia sitting number 1 in the paddleboard, number 2 in the SUP women's marathon race. This is the long distance, an 18K, roughly about 10, 11 miles, and they're on their last turn coming into the finish line.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I think potentially Geordie may have the fastest time overall, but to be expected, you know, when the first long leg was totally into the wind. So, but Geordie Mercer flying on the back of the course there, and
no surprise, she is the 2-time defending gold medal champion at this event. She is the 3-time reigning Molokai to Oahu Prone women's paddleboard champion. So she's writing records herself, like you created records in the channel.
Yeah, she's keeping the JM legacy alive right now.
So you're JM10, she's JM3 and
yeah,
counting.
It's funny. She keeps every time she does something, she's like, JM3, JM4, I'm coming to get you, and it's pretty funny. But it would surprise me if she gets there pretty fast. She's an amazing athlete.
Well, that's why records are there. Records are made to be broken, and those are golds for you. I remember Andy Irons in his young surfing career. He goes, when Kelly Slater had 6 world titles, he goes, that's my goal. I want 6. Tiger Woods chasing Jack Nicklaus in golf and the majors and things like that. You've set a standard for Molokai. You set a standard here at the ISA, winning this event 2 years in a row. And so, that standard will be set, and one day that record will be broken.
Yeah, definitely. And it's nice to have go. I always looked at Kelly Slater and was trying to try and keep up with him and his titles as well. You got to have goals. You got to have people to look up to and try and beat. And I'd be more than happy to see someone get more than 10.
So we can see Laura Quickglass from Spain. Also, we see Barbara Brazil from Brazil. We see Shea Foudy coming into the screen. So there's your top 5 ladies right now, and they are battling for the top 4 spots because the top 4 get medals: gold, silver, bronze, and 4th place copper.
And just a quick shout out. There was one, the Total SUP. They're saying. Could you explain why some big-name athletes like Connor and Kai, etc., are not at the ISA Games? It's a good question.
Well, Team Hawaii, I'm from Hawaii, and I've been a big push of trying to get Team Hawaii there. And I was talking to Zane Schweitzer's mom, Shani, and Shani was full-on geared up last year after Mira Flores to get a Hawaii team going. The funds weren't there. A lot of these guys are sponsored. A lot of times there's other races in the calendar, but it comes down, like you said, Jamie, last year, and I've heard you say to repeat this year. Sometimes prize money is not the most important factor of bringing the world's best athlete. It's representing your country, and that pride goes even farther sometimes.
I think so, and I mean, not to call anyone out, but I know there's a few people that are in Nicaragua right now that aren't racing and they're here doing other stuff. So, for me, that's a little bit of a bummer, but I guarantee you, if it comes to the Olympics and it's because of the ISA, these young kids will be the first ones to put their hands up to be in the team. So, I think they need to sometimes just, think about some other things and, what's best. But
here we go. You can see Lena on the right. You see Shakira in the white jersey on the left. In the middle, you see Jordan Mercer on the prone, and she is making a full attack to catch Shakira. You can see out behind her, that's Laura Quickglass from Spain, and then the other girls are just making the turn on buoy number 5, and that was Barbara Brazil and also Shea Foudy from the United States, the young 15-year-old who is making an outstanding performance in her debut here at the ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships.
Yeah, I think we just maybe Carter Graves has just hit that buoy as we speak right now on call. Thank you, Carter. And what a great paddle. She's not too far behind, and that's a huge effort. And now she'll just have to put her head down and grind up to the wind. And she'll be looking at those stand-ups, and it's a really fun thing to. She'll be like, oh, I want to get that one, and then I'm going to get to that one, and I'm going to have a go to get to the next one. And I guarantee you now that Jordy Mercer is trying to catch Shakira, and she wants to try and potentially catch them all. But we'll see how that goes. But as we see all the other competitors approaching this buoy number 7 down in buoy number 5 down in that bottom corner there. So we see that long shot, and
I tell you what, Shaq's trying to make a move. Now she knows it's bust or nothing.
It's now or never, and it's really hard to make that gap. Lena, for me, would have to totally bonk right now or really capitulate for Shaq to make the ground up. All Lena has to do is keep solid, keep her form. And Shaq would have to paddle exceptionally, faster, or she would have to bonk for them to close the gap.
Do you guys ever experience cramps, muscle knots at this portion of the race, especially for an endurance race?
Oh, for sure. I experienced it like the other weekend in the Carolina Cup. We came out of the river mouth after about 2 hours and had to paddle on the right-hand side the whole way back, and my whole left side was locking up, and that was just a pure the fact that it hadn't raced for a little while and just paddling on the one side. So these girls could potentially be locking up for sure. So as we see,
this could be Edimar Luque from Venezuela looking at her paddling technique here. She's making her turn on buoy number 5. And then back to our leaders. On the right is Lena from Canada. On the left is Shakira from Australia. And it's hard to get a distance from this far angle camera, but you see in the strokes, and there's your top 5 right now. Lena, a guidess from Canada, number 1 out of Ottawa. She is 33 years of age. The 29-year-old Shakira Westerorp, former Molokai Battle of the Paddle champion, Australian second. Laura Quickglass from Spain in third. Barbara Brazil in fourth. Great showing at the young 15-year-old Shea Faldy from the United States. That's going to be a great opening, and who knows, at 15 now, just imagine when she's in her 20s paddling in this distance race.
Yeah, and I think that was the UK in 7th approaching that buoy. I think that was
Marie Bachmann.
Yeah, Marie Bachmann, and then Venezuela is about 200 meters behind in 8th place. So, yeah, big shout out to the guys back in Great Britain who are supporting their paddler, Marie Buchan, I think you pronounce it. Is that right?
Yeah, 41 years of age.
Yeah,
in the top 10.
SUP North UK. They tweeted and they're rooting for Marie and hoping for all the race positions, and a huge congrats to the team GB. So, as we see that, you see that water texture it's going to be, and you see the flags blowing. Right now they're just blowing straight into the face of these girls, and they're grinding right now, and you can see the haze and the humidity in the screen there. So these girls are just screaming probably for water and for some oxygen. And Lena's doing a great job. She looks super strong out in front. That's a really nice long stroke. Shaq's looking good, but you can tell that she's just starting to fatigue just a little bit, and that's we're 1 hour 47. So. Yeah, we could get close to around about 2 hours.
That's what you predicted?
Yeah, I'd say about 2 hours 10. So, yeah, maybe even longer. Just it's hard to see how far we are from the group right now. But
and for Shakira, she wasn't even supposed to be doing this race in the planning stages of the Australian national team.
Yeah, she was just doing the surfing, and then a month out, one of the other competitors pulled out. So they asked her if she'd do the racing, and so she actually had 3 weeks of good training, and then she got in a car accident. Her car got totaled, and she had a week off training because she got all got all like messed up. So Shaq's doing a great job. She's just a tough competitor. So, but definitely looks like the lack of training is starting to hurt her now. But take nothing away from Lena. She's been on fire. She had a great race in the Carolina Cup last couple of weekends ago, just right behind Annabelle, and she is one of the form paddlers in the world right now, and showing why right now.
Well, for Shakira, she already medaled in the SUP surfing for the women already in the first 3 days of competition, so she's looking for her second medal today.
Yeah, I think she potentially might be the first person that's ever medaled in the surfing and in the racing. So
in the same year.
Yeah, in the same year. So huge effort from Shaq, and she's, if Australia, happen to do well in the team standings, she's going to be a huge factor in why they're doing that.
And she's going to be in the team relay, so she's going to play a big leg for the final coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, she's potentially going to medal in the surfing, the two stand-up races, and the relay. So
and the team possibly. Yeah. So 4 medals for Shakira.
Yeah.
So a banner event for her when she was coming in, just looking at doing one event, and now she's pretty much the superstar of the team.
Yeah. So she is a superstar, and as I get another quick message from Christopher Parker at SUP Racer, said that Brazil has now got a good gap in 3rd place for the stand-up. USA struggling, a touch-up win, the young girl, but Spain's back in 4th, but closing the gap on, and South Africa is in 9th place as well. So
that's Bridget van Oswegen from Cape Town, the 39-year-old. So looking at a top 10 finish out of these 15 ladies. We have been informed that one of our SUP competitors did pull out earlier. We're at unofficial time, 1 hour 50 minutes into this race. So just about, we were looking anywhere from 2 to 2.5 hours into this race because rough estimate, it wasn't totally measured from the kilometers or from the miles. And we see another prone paddler making the downwind run from buoy number 4 to buoy number 5.
Yeah, that could be, the Spanish paddler, I would imagine, after seeing what she did yesterday. It could be Itzia Riviero. So she's coming around in 3rd place, as we see Lena on the screen. But, back to the prone, we do have Jordan Mercer in a commanding lead. And, she's going to be looking at these girls and trying to mow them down. Carter Graves from the USA doing a great job, the defending Catalina Classic champion, in 2nd place, and potentially Itzia in 3rd place from Spain.
I tell you, Jamie, these girls look like they just started this race no more than 1 minute ago.
Yeah, they're looking strong, and it's just they're amazing athletes. And like Dan was saying earlier, it's as much as you think it's a bit of a strength sport, it's really technique and balance and strength to weight ratio. So. In other sports, the men have such a big advantage, but in stand-up paddling, it's I think the gap of that strength thing between the men and the women is the gap's not as big. So Lena showing the way. I mean, Lena and the top girls, they're legitimately up in the top pointy end of the field with the top men. That's how good they are.
Well, we're going to compare the times today, tomorrow. 2012, the first inaugural year of the 2012 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships. We saw Brandy Bastick from the USA win the gold. Last year, it was Angela Jackson taking gold from Australia. This year, looks like it'll be a Canadian. It'll be Lena.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely, she's got... She has a big gap, and Lena Agitis is all that, take that story we heard from Jody earlier on where she's taken the year off to become a professional stand-up paddler. Well, here you go. It's paying off right now. She's about to become, the ISA World Champion for the, long-distance SUP race unless something horrible happens here. But, looking strong, technique looking solid, and, as we see back to Shakira. And Shakira looking strong as well, just didn't have the push that Lena did on that last bit of the downwind section, but great effort just the same.
Yeah, and she's still looking strong. 1 minute, 52 minutes into this race, and we're just nearing the end as the racers are starting to get closer. The 2nd place, Shakira Westorp from Australia, already medaled in the SUP surfing earlier this week, and an outstanding performance for Australia as they took silver and bronze in the SUP surfing with Jackson Close and Shakira, and leading the team rankings coming into this event. So, with a silver medal here, that'll solidify Australia for the top spot.
Yeah, they'll definitely put themselves in a better position, and between USA and France and so Brazil as well. So depending on where Team USA finishes, we could get a bit of a gap.
Plus Jordan Mercer with the gold, Shakira with the silver. That's really going to help boost her.
Yeah. Well, Carter in the USA is going to get 2nd, so that gap doesn't become that much.
And
but
Shea's
still,
right at 5th place right now.
Shea's in 2nd and 5th, so it's close enough. It's definitely close enough that it's going to come down to that final day in the relay, I think.
See Team Great Britain getting on to cheer Marie as she comes in, as the UK cheering on Marie Buckman, the 41-year-old, in the top 10. And there we go. There's Lena right now. 1 hour, 53 minutes and counting. 18-kilometer, roughly about 10, 11-mile course, just under a half marathon. And these girls are pouring it on. And there we go. Jordan Mercer going for gold 3 years in a row.
Yeah, Jordy Mercer. And she for such a young athlete, she's an endurance machine. And like I said, her dad Darren and Uncle Dean were 2 of the best Ironman aquatic athletes of all time in Australia. So her bloodlines run deep. So she's an amazing athlete, and she loves the distance and she loves the heat. She thrives on it. So but Carter Graves. Phenomenal performance as well. So, those 2 will probably battle it out again in the next coming months at Molokai.
Yeah, coming months at Molokai. We're going to see them also Sunday in the technical race.
Yeah, we'll see them in more than a few months. We'll see them in a few days, and then again in the relay up against each other. So, Team USA Australia will be going head-to-head along with Team France and South Africa and Brazil. So, it's going to be still another few exciting days.
Our second day competing here in Lake Nicaragua. Welcome to the 2014 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships. We are watching the finale of our long-distance race, the 18K. And right there's Shakira Westdorp from Australia, currently in second place. Our leader is Lena Agaitis from Ottawa, Canada, on screen right now, coming to victory, 1:55.25 and counting. Can she break 2 hours? You know, some personal goals here. We'll see if she can.
Yeah, I think they will. I think that little bit of a change in course has probably shortened that a little bit. You know, from what we were saying about 2 hours 10 minutes. But she's she's got about 4 minutes now to get into the finish line to break 2 hours and. You know, as we can see, her form looks really great there. Nice, nice use of the body, rotation, using the hips. Getting that nice catch out the front. So, as we see that looks like probably our media boat. That's actually not our media boat, but it could be actually. But getting us the shots, the up close shots, and as we see Lena about to make the right hand turn and come to the finish line, and she will secure victory for Team Canada.
Well, she's a flat water paddler. We're in the lake in the flat water, so, this race really suited her. Temperature-wise, probably something quite different from Ottawa and Vancouver, maybe where she's normally paddling. But now, the 2014 ISA World Champion.
Yeah, and congratulations. That's a great effort. As you see her sprinting, yeah, she's choked down on the paddle there and going back up, but... And look, just even another little brutal way to finish, and she's going to be on the right-hand side the whole way in. So, this reminds me of the graveyard race in North Carolina. It's really a bit of everything, some headwind, side wind, a bit of downwind, and great effort. I'm sure that everyone in Canada right now is super proud and watching, and as they should be. So.
Well, last year we saw Shannon Bell for Canada take the bronze medal, and this year Shannon did not return and compete here at the ISA World Championships, but Canada well represented here with a gold medal. There's Shakira as she comes in on the inside buoy, and 1 hour 57:24 in counting, the media boat, camera boat, where Chris Parker from supracer.com and also Philip Mueller for the Spanish web broadcasters, Latino.com, have been giving us some spot-on information. And Lena looking strong as ever coming in, Jamie.
Oh, yeah. She looks like she could go and do that race again. So, she's obviously done the hard work. And, like I said, I saw a race a few weeks ago, and she was super strong there. And she's paddling as strong as she was at the start, I imagine, right now, if not stronger, because she realizes she's just about to become the gold medalist.
Yeah, we just saw Jordan Mercer's rainbow board just come back. So Jordan doing a great race. And here we go. They're cheering her on. Lena Agaitis from Ottawa. There's the school kids. Yeah. Time. She's going to break 2 hours. 1:58 and counting right now.
Yeah, congratulations, Elena. Congratulations to SIC, and she's one happy girl, and congratulations to Canada. So, as we see, ISA President Fernando Aguirre asking for water, as you would. So, but she looks exhausted as her teammates come up, give her the flag, and what an amazing race! That's awesome. She got a big smile on her face, and
she looks strong. A lot of times, a marathon race like that, your legs are like jello. You were tripping and diving and falling and stumbling and bumbling, last year in Mirror Flores. I mean, because you were pushing the outer limits.
Yeah, that was, I had nothing left when I finished, and I'm sure these girls have put it all on the line. And, it's women's sport in general for me, just, women surfing, women paddling, they've just gone to such another level as Geordie's just trying to catch Shakira right now. And these little bit of bragging rights right here, but they're roommates right now, and Shaq's probably yelling at Geordie, and it would surprise me if she nearly waits for her and they run across the line together right now. They're a closer friends. They're really good friends. So Shakira on the starboard there, the 25.5-inch wide starboard with the quick blade paddle, and Geordie just rating like a madman right now, coming in to try and catch a friend.
Well, there's Aussie right there. Oi, 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 as Shakira comes in. Second place for the women's SUP distance race, and Jordan Mercer will take first place for Australia. So a silver and a gold, a home run for Team Australia.
Yeah, what a great result. There's not, I guess, a great result for Australia, and they're going to be in a good position, coming into, the final few days. So, congratulations to Shaq. I'm sure that it's Australia, and maybe a few up in Australia. It's pretty early in the morning over there right now, but she's all stoked, and Geordie charging up the line, and she will win the prone section. So she's all pumped up, and congratulations, Jordan Mercer.
So Jordan Mercer coming in on our unofficial clock at 2 hours and 38 seconds. So if you subtract 1 or 2 minutes, she also broke 2 hours too.
Yeah, and they're all happy. Great day for Australia, great day for Canada, and at the end of the day, like we said with paddleboarding's the winner here. Everyone's the winner. They're gonna the last place that's coming in here is gonna get a bigger cheer than anyone. So anyone that finishes this race has done a great job.
Well, I'll tell you what, another winner is the ISA and Fernando Aguirre. Taking this course from the ocean where it's been pretty much 100% around the world for world championships and first-class racing, and taking it to Lake Nicaragua and showing the versatility of what the ISA can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a global sport. It's global. It's worldwide. We can go anywhere. There's nowhere we can't go. Just give us some water, and we can do it. Doesn't matter if it's downwind, surf, rough, flat. I think that's what the ISA has proved the point here that, we can go anywhere. We can run events in the ocean. We can run events in the flat water and the lakes. So it doesn't really matter. We can do it, and we can go anywhere.
Well, there's JM3 for the ISA World Championships 2012. 2013, now 2014, getting a hug from Bo Nixon right there. And with the anti-doping, as all part of the IOC committee, first and second place will be tested. So for both Shakira and for Lena, they'll be tested along with Jordan. And for Carter, as we see Barbara Brazil coming in here for third place, and that's Laura Quickglass, or no, that could be Shea Fowley.
Yeah, it looks like Shea and Carter, the both Team USA right there. So, Barbara Brazil is going to get the bronze medal in the women's SUP. Looks like Shea Fody will get the copper medal, and she will come in with her compatriot Carter Craves, who will finish second in the prone. So, Brazil, viva Brazil! They're all super stoked and guaranteed. They're all down on the beach waving their flags and being all patriotic. So. What a great result for her. That was a solid paddle. Congratulations,
well, Barbara
Brazil,
mainly a SUP surfer.
Yeah.
So she's transitioned and pushed her game limit, and now she's a bronze medal winner.
Yeah, what a great result. Amazing, and not too far behind. And Jimmy Terrell there. A lot of these guys using Jimmy's paddles, so he's all stoked. And, yeah, Barbara Brazil from Brazil, all pumped up as we see in the foreground there. We see... looks like Carter Graves is sprinting up the beach, and then Shea Fody as well. And they'll come in together, but they'll respectively finish, I think, second and fourth.
Second and fourth. There's Carter Graves. She wants her teammate, Shea Fowley. There's the youth of paddling right there, a 15-year-old medaling at her first ISA World Championships.
Yeah, that's awesome. And they're all super stoked. And here's Slater Trout on the beach with Jimmy and Team USA. And that was a really amazing grind from that young girl on the stand-up. You can see, look at her. She has just put everything on the line. And to me, that's what it means to paddle for your country. She may not have put that on the line, like if it was an individual event for herself. But look at her. She is, basically spent and collapsed. And that's what it means to race for your country. So she is...
And she was in the back of the pack, and she had to catch Laura, and she had to. She was on that trail with Barbara Brazil.
Yeah, amazing. It's awesome, and I love. I don't love seeing that she's hurt that much, but I love seeing that effort and that passion that's gone into that. And she's fine. It's just that she's dug deep, and as we see.
This is Laura Quickglass from Spain.
Yeah,
she was in
Spanish
that lead pack of the top
she
three.
Was. She may have just went out a little too hard and suffered towards the end, but. Look at her. She looks like she could go again. So in just over 2 hours and 4 minutes. So what a great effort. And you can see these girls are just overheating, and like just it's probably had no water for the last half an hour, I would imagine.
And where would you see a president of an organization welcoming the finalists and giving them hydrated and giving them a big warm aloha as they come back in, as we see our competitor for France now coming against this. This is Celine Gaston.
Yeah, Celine Gaston, and charging up the beach there, and God, don't you love the energy of these girls? It's just amazing. At the end of just over 2 hours and 5 minutes, and she's sprinting up the line like it's like a life depends on it.
So the top 6 of the SUP marathon race, the long-distance race, have finished. The top 2 for the women and the prone. We can tell you that Canada has won the gold medal for the SUP division, and there's 2 happy girls from the United States right there, and big welcome. There you see Chris Parker from SUPRacer.com talking to Lena. There's Jimmy Terrell with Carter and Shea, and USA double medaling here, keeping up with Australia.
Yeah, so, really, and that's, I know that, what happens is that you want to keep the point spread, and Jimmy Terrell is very smart at stuff like that, so he would have wanted to keep the point spread as least as possible. So, there's only a 2-point spread in the stand-up and a 1-point spread potentially in this prone. So, as we see another competitor on a starboard coming around.
This could be Maria Buchanan from Great Britain. Can't quite make out the number, but we know she was around 7th or 8th with our Venezuelan surfer. And we'll take it down to Jody Nelson. Jody's got some happy paddlers down there. Take it away, Jody.
Thanks, Bo. Yeah, down here with 1st and 2nd in the women's SUP distance, Lena and Shakira. Lena from Canada. Lena, I know you've made a lot of sacrifices recently, and putting everything into your racing, and gold medalist here at the ISA World Stand-Up Paddle Championships and Paddleboard Championships. What's going through your mind right now?
I'm just really stoked. It was a battle to the very end. Shakira, wow, tough girl. And I'm just I'm joyed. Like, overjoyed? I don't even know if that's a word. And it just feels like all the hard work actually paid off, and all the people helping me. Thank you, my husband, Andrew, and all my sponsors, SIC, Werner, and beyond. You guys are awesome. And it's just amazing to be able to represent your country in any sport you do. It's just such an amazing feeling.
Well, I know there's a lot of young kids and teachers at home watching. Anything you want to say to them?
Yeah, never give up. Follow your dreams, follow your passions. It's always worth it.
And Shakira, a grueling race out there. I felt for you guys. It looked so hot and so hard with the headwinds. Just walk us through your guys' strategy. You broke away from the pack, and how you were feeling out there.
Yeah, there was 3 of us, I think, at the start, and then we just managed to get away, just the 2 of us. We put on a bit of a spurt and stuck together for a bit. But Lena was so strong in the flat, I think I was like slowing her down a bit, but I didn't want to let her go either. So yeah, it was a battle once we got out into the clear. Lena's strength just took over, and well-deserved win. But yeah, it was a tough race. That last leg back into the wind was a killer. It was so many times I just wanted to lay down, and I wish I was on a prone board. But yeah, it was a good course, brutal course. But yeah, like it's beautiful. Yeah, beautiful paddling through. We did get to stand up and have a look around a few times while we had a quick gel and a drink. But yeah, thanks to everyone at home watching, Starboard, Quick Blade, all the support at home, and the paddle girls at home. You guys better come next year.
Now, Lena, what was your favorite part of the course?
I had a couple, actually. There was one section where the monkeys came out and like greeted us, so that was pretty awesome. And I actually, I don't get a lot of chance to draft with other girls, just the way races are in Canada. There's not that many girls, so hopefully there's more girls that come out and paddle. But so actually working with Shakira made it fun, and otherwise I think it would have been hard on in our heads, so we were able to chat out there and work on our strategy and motivate each other. And the downwind was pretty fun. It was actually a pretty solid downwind, that far stretch over there once we got out of the island. So, but it was all beautiful.
All right, well, congratulations, you two. That's your gold and silver medalists here at the ISA World Stand-Up Paddle Championships. We're going to catch up with the prone paddlers pretty soon. We'll send it back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks a lot, Jody, and congratulations, Lena. Congratulations, Shakira. Congratulations in third place, Barbara Brazil. Congratulations to Shea Faldy, the young 15-year-old with the copper medal. Also coming in fifth place, Laura Quickglass from Spain. Sixth place, Celine Gasson from France. And we couldn't see some of the other paddlers as they were coming in during the interview, so we may have a mix-up. But those are your top six, solid there, right there.
Yeah,
we
it looks like Venezuela, maybe.
Yeah, that is
stand up.
number 132, Edimar Luqui from Venezuela,
and potentially Spain, I think, on the prone paddleboard from the board from yesterday. So I think that's his Itzia, Riviero. So she's coming in, and that is maybe third place. Would that be third place?
That would be bronze medal contender. And again, we didn't get to see the finish line as you did. So if we have our situation wrong, and we'll get the official results for you as they come in. But
that is Team Spain definitely. So
the Hayden board.
Yeah, congratulations to her. She paddled great yesterday, and another great performance today.
Hey, 2 hours 10 minutes. You're just about 10, 12 minutes away from the world champion. A great showing.
Yeah, great showing. It's in a brutal race. So, they're all guaranteed. They're all hurting right now, and really, just thank God it's over. But give them 5 or 10 minutes, and they're going to be all smiles and so stoked that they're part of this race.
And Venezuela representing very strong here. One of the strongest, their national champion coming in, Edimar Luqui.
Yeah. She's been around the previous 2 years. I've seen her every year, and a couple of years before she'd done the prone as well. So, she's definitely improved the last few years, and all these countries have just stepped it up a notch. So,
you see Marcos from Brazil, one of our head officials, a contest director for the SUP surfing event, an excellent event at La Boquita in our first 3 days of competition. Those are the timers, and you can see they have ankle chips as they come across the timeline, officially register their time. Of course, we were not at the start. We were just working off our screen, so our official minutes that we've been giving you could be off by a minute or two because there was a 30-second delay from our camera boat to the main studio of the webcast at livewebcast.com. And we'd like to thank all the boys back in the booth who are working so hard. Mauricio, Luciano, David Bowen, our director, Kiko. Happy birthday, Kiko. Celebrating on a birthday. Jonathan in there and doing a spot-on job at this race. A lot of difficulties to overcome, a lot of hurdles to get through, but these guys did a great job. We'd like to thank our camera guys, Jeff and Mariana and Cristobal from Chile, doing on the beach, as long with Dan Gravier, Jody Nelson, myself, Bo Hodge, and Jamie Mitchell, and of course our Spanish compadres over on the other side with a Spanish broadcast, Philip Mueller, Andreas from Venezuela, and Simone from Colombia, giving an excellent location and upping the game. And speaking of Jody Nelson, Jody's got the top paddleboarders down there. Take it away, Jody.
That's right. Thanks, Bo. Down here with Jordan Mercer, gold medalist, 7-time gold medalist now, and Carter Craves, his first time at ISA World Championships. And, give us just a quick rundown on how the race went for you.
Oh, it was a tough race. Jordan definitely kept me going, and she's so fast, and it was so fun racing her. I've just been anticipating racing her for such a long time, and so much respect. It was a lot of fun, so really, really fun.
And Jordan, there's been a lot of talk with Carter coming up and possibly giving you a run for your money this year. Did that play into any nerves, getting into this race today?
Yeah, it most definitely did, and throughout the competition, Carter and I didn't get an opportunity to race each other, so hearing all the rumors, and today, finally, on the start line was the first time we've ever raced each other, and she lived up to the rumors, It was a brutal race, really, really tough, and I think there was 4 of us girls sort of fighting for it up the front, and we just hit so many different elements throughout the course. There was the side chop, then we had some runs, then it was back to flat water, and you'd really feel the heat, so eventually, the girls were sort of just dropping off the tail, and Carter was still there hammering. So we really pushed and sort of said to each other that we want to have a special race, and we were out to sort of, knock back those stand-up paddlers. So that sort of kept us motivated. But really, you know, it was a phenomenal course, and an honour to race where we did, and an honour to race the athletes that I did. It's fantastic.
Where was the toughest moment on that race for you, where you just went, oh my gosh, and you thought maybe, you know, was it the heat, was it water, was it the chop, you know, where was that one moment where you just almost hit a wall?
Yeah, it's funny actually, because the entire time you're racing, you're thinking about, I wonder what my competition, I wonder what's going on through their head. They might look like they're doing fine, but they might be really struggling. And the whole time, you know, they might give a little bit of a spurt and you're like, oh gosh, are they going to take off? And your mind sort of gets a little bit negative. And throughout that race there in the middle somewhere, a couple SUPs broke us and we were stuck there, and Carter took the lead. And that's when I really sort of thought, oh my gosh, you know, are my arms going to keep pushing through the pace they need to? But I think when we turned, we came out, worked our way through those islands, and we had a downwind section. That was just like a new wind for me. Freshen up, get some runs, and try and pin back some of the SUPs. It was, yeah, that was my favorite part.
Jordan killed the downwind part. That was awesome.
Now, Carter, I saw you, you know, cross the finish line with your teammate Shea Foudy, who's just 15 years old. She looked, you know, I couldn't tell if she was exhausted emotionally or physically, but, you know, just tell us about that moment.
Yeah, Shay's like my little sister. Like, she's only 15. I'm 22. Been racing a lot longer than her, and I just knew she needed that extra push at the end just to finish. And you know, I was just yelling at her. I'm like, just knew she could do it. It's a long way at 15. I mean, I was swimming 100 yards, and to be paddling 10 miles is incredible. I can't imagine doing that at 15. So she needed the extra mental push, and, you know, I think I helped her do that. I'm so proud of her and so proud to be her teammate. So,
real quick, anybody you want to say thank you to at home? I'll give you the opportunity to.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, firstly, just congratulations to the ISA. This event is phenomenal, and what they've done here, and with the conditions that they've worked with, it's been fantastic. And back home, definitely my family. I love you all. Thank you for being up so early, watching me, and making it possible for me to be here today. My sponsors also, Red Bull, Nike, Medill's Holden, all the JM crew for making me some awesome craft. Vertra sunscreen, we were getting burnt out there, so it's just been fantastic. You know, I love you all. The cameramen, you know, you put yourself in some pretty awkward positions to get to us, so we appreciate everything, and it's an honour to be here and an honour to get another gold. So thank you, and go Team Australia. Come on, guys.
And Carter, anybody you want to say hi to at home or thanks?
My family, my boyfriend, who's actually an Aussie, so he gets to win. Yeah, both of us. My sponsors, Oakley, Patagonia, Jolyn, Surf Diva, Rickaroods, Joe Bark Paddleboards. Thanks for making me an awesome board. My coaches, Jimmy for just killing it, and my teammates for being there, Jordan for just giving me an awesome race. It was so fun. So anyone else I forgot, sorry, but yeah, thank you. Go USA.
Well, congratulations, girls, and good luck in the overall standings. And you guys, Jordan Mercer, her 7th ISA gold medal. Back to you in the booth.
Oh, my God. If that's the future of the sport, Jamie, we are in good hands.
Yeah, we're in very good hands, aren't we? Two very well-spoken, you know, ladies that love the competition and respect each other, and that's what this sport's all about. As we see, I want to say that is Team New Zealand in the prone paddleboarding. That is Ashley Cochran. She's only 19, and, you know, huge effort. And I was speaking to the New Zealand crew earlier, and you know, they said it was about 8 degrees Celsius before they left here to come here. So they've been struggling with the heat, but you know, she finished the race, and, you know, huge props to the young lady from New Zealand.
Well, I know Peter and the crew back in the Kiwi and the Surf Life Saving Association used to come to the Ocean Fest and bring, you know, a crew that would buck heads with you guys and the Aussies in the 90s into the 2000s, and I know he's proud of all the young Kiwi paddlers and stand-up paddlers and surfers out here, and more competitors finishing up here. But what a tremendous day. Now, I got to echo what Jordan Mercer said. The ISA is the big winner here today.
Oh, 100%.
Bringing it from the ocean to Lake Nicaragua was a gamble.
Yeah, it was a gamble, and you know what? They, you know, people seem to forget that there's, you know, what makes waves is wind, and we get wind everywhere, you know. So, you know, just because we're going to a lake doesn't mean it's just going to be glassy flat, you know. So, you know, as we see, I think this is team. I want to say that Team Peru from the board. I think it's Rocio Laranga, maybe from Peru.
We can't see the number. The number's on her back. And if it is the 50-year-old, yeah, the Peruvian girl, 50 years of age and finishing a world championship.
Wow, what an effort. 50 years old and, been going for 2 hours and 20 minutes on the dot. So congratulations. We're clapping our hands here in the booth. I mean, that's...
and just about 22 minutes behind the world champion.
Yeah, that's... like I said, I think Team Peru really stepped it up and have, taken a big step in, training this year, and it's shown. Like a 50-year-old woman that's 20 minutes behind Jordan. So it's, it's really, really amazing that she can do that. So.
And look how proud they are.
Oh, yeah. She's just like, she wants to just lay down and go to sleep right now. And they're like, look at the camera, look at the camera.
And Peru loves their ocean sports. They have such a heritage like Australia, like Hawaii. I mean, Peruvians have been surfing as long as the Hawaiians have been surfing.
Yeah, the history in Peru is just goes back for,
centuries.
Older than Australia. Australia wasn't even, discovered before they were probably surfing over there. So that's awesome as we see another competitor just rounding the last final buoy out there, and that's South Africa. That would be Bridget, yeah? So I'm never going to say her last name because I've been getting Twitter feeds that people have been scolding me for pronouncing it wrong, so I'm not going to try anymore.
And then another prone paddler out behind there. We're going to bring in Chris Parker from supracer.com. Chris, you had the bird's eye view. Our telephone communication plan kind of backfired, but you were able to communicate with Dan Gervier and also with Jamie Mitchell. And tell us about the course. Was it hot? What was it like through the islands? Let's start from the beginning, from the start.
Yeah, it was a pretty brutal start, Bo. It was very interesting being out there on the boat following the leaders. The first 3 kilometres were a shocking headwind. It really broke things up. Within the first few hundred metres, there was separate packs forming. Lena and Shaq went out really hard. I was very impressed with Laura from Spain. Managed to stick with them the first 3 or 4 kilometres. Behind them, there was a group of 5 girls, as you probably saw on the camera, and they were just digging deep, trying to get across that wide open bay at the start.
So the pace was fast from the beginning.
I actually talked to Lena right before the start, and she said my plan is to break them straight away and just hang on. So she went out at a good pace. Shaq, amazing. She did an amazing job. I actually thought she was going to win it at one point. She just looked like she had it in control, sitting there with Lena. So those two really set the pace. Laura fell off, the Spanish girl, into third and just got lost in kind of no woman's land for about an hour.
Tell us about when the girls hit the islands and had to go navigate through there.
Yeah, as we watch Bridget come in for I believe she'll be in 9th position, top 10 finish for her. As we turned left, if you can see the course map, we basically went out into the open lake, and there was a really strong wind, maybe 20 knots, and this is a big lake, so there were some big bumps coming through. That totally broke the second draft train. They just kind of scattered for a good 500 meters. At that point, Brazil and USA made a pretty good maneuver and worked together to chase down Spain across the whole island chain. And by the time we got out of the islands, there was flat sections in the islands, there was windy sections because some of these islands protect you from the wind, some of them expose it. It was quite an interesting course.
And how was the wildlife in between and around the islands? We saw houses on some islands. We saw, vegetation on a lot of the islands.
Yeah, it was amazing as we watched Bridget cross the line. A pretty stellar effort there. That's 17 or 18 kilometres of hot, grinding paddling. It was definitely hot out there. In the sections where there was wind, even if it was headwind, they probably enjoyed the breeze just to cool them down. As we see Bridget cross the line. I saw the vuvuzelas down there just before cheering her on.
How was the hydration, the water packs, the aid stations? What were you seeing from the competitors?
Well, right before the start, I saw some pretty frantic taping of camelbacks to prone boards and everyone trying to make last-minute water systems to keep them going because it was brutal out there. Like, we were on the boat. We had a pretty cruisy in comparison, and even we were sweating up a storm. So I can only imagine how hard it was for the women. I just talked to Shaq down on the beach, and she said she felt pretty good during the first 13, 14 kilometres, but as soon as we hit that last really outside buoy and did a mini downwinder, she said she just hit the wall and Lena pulled away.
Well, that's where Jamie predicted the race would be won, is between buoys 4 and 5, and sure enough, that's where Lena poured it on.
Yeah, I actually thought that Shaq was looking so good in the islands. Like, I was calling that Shaq might even have this, but She just didn't have it. She said she was in a really good rhythm, but once the bumps mixed things up, she just kind of lost it. And Lena had, I guess, a good board for going downwind.
And Shakira made a run at buoy number 5, caught up a lot of ground, but her turn was lackluster.
Yeah, actually, we sat at buoy number 5, way down the end near the Granada City, and I thought Shaq might actually be making a comeback. She closed the gap from about 100 metres down to 50 metres, and this was just with 2 kilometres to go. But then as soon as they round the buoy, Lena got a slightly better turn, and Shaq, as soon as she went round the corner, into the headwind again. You know, when I was just talking to her down there, she said it was the most brutal thing she's almost ever experienced, having to paddle headwind after 16 kilometres in the sun.
So you did tell us one competitor did pull out.
Yeah, we haven't got a confirmation on that, but I believe it was either the local Nicaraguan competitor, Anya Vanegas, or the Guatemalan competitor. We're just waiting to confirm that. But I did see a few girls off the start. Some of the newer paddling nations were dropped very quickly, and I can tell you that's a long, long way to paddle. So if you're not at 100% fitness, you're going to find out pretty quick.
In your opinion, Chris, you've been to races around the world. Thumbs up, thumbs down of this ISA long-distance race for the SUP and the Prone?
It was a lot better than I expected. There's definitely a few things they can improve, and I'm sure we'll go over that with the ISA team and work on it not only for tomorrow for the men's race, but next year. But all in all, it was an entertaining race and a very, very interesting and very unique long-distance course. Kind of cruel to send them upwind there at the end after 15 kilometres, but that definitely broke it up and added a new dimension to it.
This is our Nicaraguan local competitor, a 21-year-old Ana Vanegas. And look at the spirit as she's coming across. Her time unofficially 2 hours, 26 minutes, 22 seconds. And the local crowd just loving as she's coming across there. The school kids and the local media.
I believe that's a top 10 finish too.
Yeah.
That's solid. But yeah, really interesting course out there. It was amazing going through all these little islands. There's just these huge big castles and villas out there on these distant islands, as we see the president, the ISA crew just cheering everyone on. But yeah, it was a really interesting course, so I think they've been vindicated in their choice to come up to the lake. Tomorrow, I can only imagine the men's race is going to be pretty brutal, because today we saw 2 or 3 girls setting the pace and trying to push it. Tomorrow we could see a dozen guys pushing it.
We could see multiple packs staying together. We could see, like you said, 1 pack of 12. We could see 2 packs of 6. Combination. I mean, so much is up for grabs.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of races within the race tomorrow. There'll be a few guys that might get dropped earlier that try and work together to gain some ground. The conditions are going to play a huge factor. If there's wind like there was today, the race is going to be really broken up. A few days ago, I saw the lake was dead calm. If it's like that tomorrow, then the guys will probably stick together a lot more easily. But yeah, if we get the same conditions today, it's going to be a pretty fun race to watch.
Well, we just can't wait. Tomorrow, the long distance for the men and the SUP long distance race also for the paddleboard. And then Sunday, our final. We'll have the technical races final for both prone and SUP and men and women and our relays. So 5 races coming up on Sunday. And then, of course, our medal and closing ceremonies also coming up on Sunday. Team Australia, I think, pulled away here, looking good, with a gold medal in the paddleboard and a silver medal in the SUP. Team USA not too far behind, a silver medal in the paddleboard and also a copper medal for the SUP.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the young Shea Foudy from the USA. That was one of the bravest performances I've seen in a while. She's only 15 years old, only been paddling a couple of years, and she was hanging in there with girls not only twice her age but probably triple her strength. At the moment, she's a pretty light young girl.
And she had to come from behind to get that 4th place, didn't she?
Yeah, that was what was really exciting towards the end of the race. Barbara Brazil from Brazil and Shea from the USA were sitting in 4th and 5th, and they were trying to reel in Laura Cuetglas from Spain, who was just in no man's land for about an hour, hanging on for dear life in that bronze. But as they got round that outside buoy number 4 and hit the downwinder, Barbara Brazil and Shea just found the bumps, and I think Laura had been doing so much work on her own that she just hit the wall.
How many monkeys did you see out on the course?
We went past Monkey Island. There was a few monkeys yelling at us. Paddlers didn't get close enough for any of them to jump on the board, but that's definitely one of the more unique elements I've ever seen in a SUP race, Monkey Island.
All right. Thanks a lot, Chris Parker from SUPRacer.com. We're going to go down below and check out Jody Nelson. She's got a special local competitor.
Yes, I do. Thanks, Bo. Down here with Team Nicaragua, Anna, who just crossed the finish line for stand-up paddling, and Fernando's going to do an interview with her in Spanish in her local tongue.
Thank you, Jody. Hola, Ana, ¿cómo estás?
Bien.
¿Estabas contenta? ¿Venías corriendo?
Sí.
No sabías si te reías o si llorabas, ¿no?
Las dos cosas, alegre, feliz de participar en un mundial por primera vez, aunque no tengo mucha experiencia, pero sí, representando a Nicaragua siempre con mucho orgullo.
She's saying that I asked her if she was very, very excited because she was like crying and laughing. I said, yes, I was crying, laughing. I'm so excited. It's the first time that I'm in a World Championship. I'm very proud of representing Nicaragua. ¿Has crecido, vivido siempre cerca de aquí?
Sí, desde niña vivo en una isleta.
Desde niña vives en la isleta. ¿Cómo se llama la isleta?
El Arado.
El Arado.
Sí.
So I was asking her if she's been around here for a while. Yes. And she said that she was raised in an isleta, one of the little islands called El Arado. ¿Y qué haces todos los días en El Arado?
Pues estoy en un deporte de remo, entreno, estudio y le ayudo a mi mamá en la casa, solo eso.
I asked her, what does she does in this letter. It says, well, I train, I'm in a rowing team. We can tell she's in a rowing team. And she studies, she helps her mom, and she just loves this. ¿Y ahora qué vas a hacer?
No sé, pienso tal vez seguir.
¿Sí?
Sí.
¿Te gustó el stand-up?
Sí, me gustó.
La remada de la tabla es muy diferente.
Muy diferente a remar.
David, what are we going to be doing?
Pero sí me gusta, yo creo que voy a seguir.
¿Cuánto tiempo llevas practicando con las tablas de remo para competir?
Aquí como 3 semanas, 2 por ahí.
So I asked her, if she likes stand-up paddle racing. She says, yes, I love it. And I said, okay, well, how long have you been doing? I'm not sure, maybe 2, maybe 3 weeks at the most. So, Ana Venegas from Nicaragua. What an ISA star. Thank you. Muchas gracias, Ana.
Muchas gracias, Fernando Aguirre, the ISA president there, interviewing Anna, coming in 10th place, as we still have quite a few paddlers still on the course as they're continuing their race. And this is a world championship, and 27 nations being represented at the 2014 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships here in Nicaragua. Just 2 more days of competition remaining for this Friday. We have the men long distance prone and the men long distance SUP marathon races coming up tomorrow, and then Sunday our final in the technical, both prone and for SUP in men and women and our relays. So we're winding out a big long week of competition. Medals being awarded today, team standings, statistics, and Team Australia, the big winner here, Jamie, and you got to feel proud about your country.
Oh yeah, definitely. They've stepped it up, especially Shakira. Geordie was pretty hot favourite to win, and but. I know what Shakira's capable of, the talent she has, but, she's been out of the racing game for a long time. So for her to step up and train hard and, come out with that result was huge.
We're seeing our Danish paddler, the 26-year-old Nikolaj Rasmussen, coming in here, number 136. And Kasper Steinfath, such an inspiration to all Danes over there and representing well as a gold medalist last year, silver medalist last year. And there's a shot of Carter, the silver medal prone paddleboard winner this year, and actually was leading Jordan Mercer through the islands.
Yeah, no, great effort. And, as I said, couldn't shake Carter through the flat section, but as soon as it got to the downwind, that's where Geordie comes into her own. So, but a great result from Carter, and she seemed very happy with her result, and just stoked to be able to race Geordie and probably see where she's at and what she needs to improve on.
2 hours, 33 minutes, 40 seconds, and counting it as we see Nikolaj coming up for Denmark. And you can see her Camelback waterback and her water filtration system there. And I'm sure Kasper's right there to welcome her back in. And we'll see Kasper and the rest of the top men competing tomorrow. And, of course, Jordan Mercer makes it 3 in a row. Anna Naughton from South Africa did not come back. She was a silver medalist to Jordan Mercer the last 2 years, but a brand new gold medalist for the ladies, as we saw Brandy Bastick win for the United States in 2012, Angela Jackson last year for Australia in 2013, and now Lena this year coming in and winning for the SUP women.
As we see, Mexico, Gabby Farias coming in, and I don't think we saw too many. I think a couple of girls were doubling up, doing the prone for the girls in Mexico last year, and now they've got their own prone paddlers, and that's another huge step up for those guys in the ISA. So, it's just such a, paddling to finish this race is such an achievement. This is a tough race. This was a tough course. Headwind, side wind, flat water, downwind. And then, to have the headwind the last, few kilometers, it's brutal.
That's just so brutal. You see Team Mexico getting the board from Rich Pierce, one of the Hawaii judges here. Tell you what, we'll take a quick break, commercial break. When we come back, we'll recap our day on our exciting action here at Lake Nicaragua. You're watching the 2014 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships. Stay tuned. Celebrating 50 years of surfing, you're watching the 2014 ISA World Stand-Up Paddle and Paddleboard Championships live from Lake Nicaragua as some of our final competitors finishing up a grueling day, long-distance day, 18K, roughly about 10 miles race here in Lake Nicaragua. We'd like to thank all those supporting sponsors and presenting sponsors making this all possible. Intour, Nicaragua's Ministry of Tourism. We also being sponsored by Avianca, Voss TV, Tigo, Channel 6 in Nicaragua, also Lux Dev, European Union, and Viva Nicaragua Channel number 13. Our media partners include SUPRacer.com, Surfos, Latin America's leading surf publication, Passion Extrema, Fox Sports Latin America, and SUP Club, along with Waves Brazil. We can't forget Surfers Village and StandUpLatino.com. I'm Bo Hodge, along with Jamie Mitchell, Dan Gravier, Chris Parker, bringing you all the exciting action, along with Jody Nelson. And this is still tough, still trying to get through. This is still the hardest part of the day, and it's been lengthy for these girls.
Yeah, just punching up into the headwind there to the final turn, and looks a nice. She's doing a nice strong stroke there, and she's doing great. But just the last thing you want to be doing.
Okay, welcome to the 2014 ISA World Stand-Up Paddle and Paddleboarding Championships, as we're in our competitive day for long distance for the women in our SUP and prone, and there's a great shot. My name is Bo Hodge, world champion gold medalist Jamie Mitchell. We've got Chris Parker from SUPRacer.com and Dan Gravier. Get in the picture. There's Dan. Aloha, Dan. And Jody Mitchell's down on the beach. We're the English broadcast team. We hope you've been enjoying the broadcast, whether you've been watching live on television at Oceanic Time Warner Cable 250 and HD 1250 and the Southern California Time Warner affiliates on tape delayed, or whether you're watching the webcast on many different affiliates like SUPRacer.com and some of the other affiliates that are shown here. And, of course, there's our Hawaii Connection, the Surf Channel, live 24/7, 250 and HD 1250 in Los Angeles, Desert Cities, San Diego, and the Time Warner Sports Cable Network, or on the website, the ISAWSUPPC.com. And they've been bringing a great job. Carlos and Jose and Fabiano and all the boys working in the media room, and Megan and Hannah in the office area, Bob, and, of course, Fernando Aguirre, the president of the ISA. And what a home run they have hit, bringing the SUP and Paddleboard World Championships to Lake Nicaragua.
Yeah, it's they've done an amazing job. And, excuse me, as we see the young lady from, I'm not sure exactly where she's from, but she's got a big smile on the face, and Argentina, or is it El
Salvador?
No, it's actually the local Nicaraguan girl.
Yeah.
Sorry, and it's where she's got the flag and run up the beach, and she's all pumped up, and I'm sure all the school kids that come out to watch her are having a big clap. So
this is our Costa Rican competitor, the 34-year-old Edith Garcia, coming up, number 140,
and she'll be very glad to be finished this race. I can guarantee you that. Using the bark board there and the quick blade paddle, and she's grinding on her right side all the way in there in that crosswind. So right now, but still looking good. Still has a nice form there, but you can tell she's ready to be done. So as we see Geordie and the local Nicaraguan girl there having a photo opportunity.
And unofficially coming in 12th place out of our top 15.
And just about to hit the shallow water, and she'll jump off the board, and then not only she's going to get off that board, she's going to have to wade through the shallows and use those legs to get across the finish line. So after trying to balance that board for 2.5+ hours, now she's got to get off and run it, and she has been going for 2 hours and 42 minutes. So.
And some of the hottest portions of the race as she's coming in, and part of the race finishing with her paddle. She remembers to bring her paddle as a beautiful bark board comes on in the shoreline area. And Costa Rica doing quite well, Jamie, 3 weeks ago in Ecuador at the ISA World Junior Surfing Championships sponsored by Vizsla. They had a young girl competing in both the under-16 and under-18s, making both finals, Leilani McGonigal, and she was truly amazing. I mean, history potentially there for a world champion to win both titles was on the line, and she performed beyond her years in Ecuador.
Yeah, lots of talent coming out of Central America. So whether it be surfing, shortboarding, or stand-up paddling and stand-up surfing, so huge future. And as we keep seeing, Bo, every year, the level of talent and the level of commitment is is going to another level, so to speak.
So taking a look at the medal count, Australia now with 2 gold medals, a silver medal, and a copper medal. So already 4 medals for the Aussies. The United States coming in today winning a silver medal and also a copper medal to go along with their gold and copper. So they have 2 coppers a gold and a silver. So, you know, Team USA, Team Australia with 4 medals amongst the countries, but Australia has 2 golds where the United States has 1.
Yeah, you know, I think we're going to see tomorrow with the men's is a little bit more up in the air. I think the prone for the men's is pretty. You know, you can predict the top 3 pretty easily, but the stand up is where it's going to be won, and is potentially where Australia can either hold on to their lead, or I think this is the chance. I think the USA tomorrow have to be, solid, very, very solid.
And there's one man competing tomorrow, a gold and silver medalist to you in the distance last year, Casper Steinfath. He's got to be one of the contenders.
Yeah, he certainly is. And, this is the big thing, like are these, him, Fernando, the French, the 2 French, T2 and Eric, are they going to get in between the Australians and the US of A? And, America tomorrow has to, they have to perform. Slater and Chuck, I believe they have to try and finish in, the top 3 to, and Australia has to, falter a little bit tomorrow, for it to come down to that last day. So, it's going to be interesting, with France being disqualified in the team relay, that sort of puts them out of contention. So it really brings it down to a 2-horse race for the team's overall title, which between Australia and USA.
Let's go down beachside and check out what Jody Nelson has dug up. Take it away, Jody.
Thanks, Bo. Well, what I've dug up is by far one of my favorite stories of the entire event, besides Team Nicaragua. But this young lady, Valerie, out of Guatemala, is 15 years old. This was her first time paddling ever, was what, Thursday? And you just did the distance race. I mean, tell us about that.
Well, this is the first time I tried this, so I'm a swimmer, so it's completely different, and I really like this sport. And the distance race was so hard, and yesterday was so much fun. So I'm looking forward for finals tomorrow.
Now, you're not just Valerie that just showed up, though. You're a national champion. Tell us a little bit about some of your accolades in swimming.
Yeah, I just came back from CAMEX, that is a Central American Games. I won 8 gold medals, 1 silver, 1 bronze, and I have been to 2 World Cups, one in Istanbul and last year in Barcelona, and I've been doing open water and swimming as well, so this is really fun too to do.
Now I have Jordan Mercer here. Jordy, tell us a little bit about the other day after you finished your race, the technical race. Valerie's mom came up to you, and I mean, that was one of my favorite moments of the game so far. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I didn't realize that it was Valerie's first ever race and first ever time on a paddleboard, but she came up to me and asked, do you think maybe after we finished the race you could teach me how to paddle? I was thinking, are you kidding? You just smashed it out there. You did so well. It's just so hard to believe. But having that fitness and the motivation and determination from her swimming and all of the fantastic things she's achieved, she really put it into play here today. And over the next couple of days, I'm sure she'll do the same. But it's just fantastic, to see people like this trying so hard, and it is for me motivating, and it's an honour to be in the water with you. But something else is pretty cool. I'm going to leave my board here so that she can take it home to train on, and I think, in the years to come, she'll most definitely be a threat in this sport.
Wow, are you sure you want to do that? Because I think, Valerie, are you hooked on paddleboarding now?
Yeah, I love it. It's awesome.
She might be on your heels next year.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a bad decision of mine. I'm creating a lot of competition, but it's about building this sport, and it's about encouraging everybody. And I think there's so much to look forward to with this sport and the association. So, yeah, onward and upward. But congratulations, it's fantastic.
How hard is it to do what she just did for everyone at home watching?
Well, I don't know if I'd be finished yet, and if I was paddling out there, I'd probably be going backwards if I was 4 days fresh on a board. I don't know if Valerie understands how great what she has just done. It's amazing.
All right, well, congratulations, Valerie, and anybody you want to say hi to at home?
Well, my family and friends back in Guatemala, and thank you so much for your support.
All right, well, congratulations. Well, one of the many amazing stories here at the ISA World Stand-Up Paddleboard and Paddleboard Championships. We'll send it back to you guys in the booth.
Wow, I'm blown away, Jamie. And that's what bringing all these nations together, 27 nations, over 84 nations registered in the ISA and the International Surfing Association, 27 of them being represented here at the World Championships for the SUP and paddleboarding. And that's what this moment is all about, as we see Jordan Mercer giving her board to Valerie Slowing, who has never, ever been on a paddleboard until earlier this week, and completing this race. But there's a lot of similarities with swimming, and I'm sure you can relate, being a surf lifesaver, done a lot of swimming in your career, and transitioning into the paddleboarding.
Yeah, there is no better transition coming. If you're a swimmer, yeah, obviously the feeling of the water, you have the stroke. You can, there's no better transition to make from swimming to paddling. And once you get the prone paddling part of it done, which you will, just the balance side, then it's a matter of just getting on the knees. But the feel for the water is something that's a natural feel, and obviously being a swimmer, she has that already. So now it's just a matter of getting time on the board and getting used to the balance and paddling in a little bit of the wind and the. Jordan could have created a monster right there.
Yeah, it could come back to bite her, let's say 5 years from now at the ISA World Championships in 2019, when Valerie Slowing is now 20 years of age and competing with the likes of go. Remember back in Nicaragua when you gave me that board? Well, I just beat you with that board.
Yeah, exactly. So, but nice sportsmanship there from the girls. So as we see another competitor, and potentially I want to say that maybe that board is from Brazil, maybe Sinara Pazos, maybe, I'm not sure.
As we got Chris Parker helping us, possibly the Venezuelan surfer Maria coming in. We just can't see the so yeah, but look like the markings on the board is the Venezuelan colors. You can see the yellow, see the blue.
Could be Brazil, yeah.
Yeah, could be Brazil. So it's either a Venezuelan or a Brazilian paddler coming in. Venezuela, we hear Mano from Chile, our beach announcer, said it is our Venezuelan surfer, so it is Maria Orejola.
Great effort, and that board looks
very tippy for her.
You know what? That potentially could be a stand-up board that she's proning on.
Equipment is so important. In
is that the board that the Brazilian paddles on? I mean, I think that's a. Yeah, that is a SUP. She's just paddled that whole way on a SUP paddleboard. I mean, that's amazing. Like, that's the Brazilian kid yesterday's SUP board that she's just proned on. So that's that would be that'd be a good question for Jody down there to to ask, but.
And look how proud she is.
She doesn't care. She's just smiling, and she's got a smile from ear to ear. So that's an amazing job. That's unbelievable.
Maria Orejola from Venezuela getting a kiss from ISA President Fernando Aguirre. And Fernando's going to douse her with some water here. This Team Venezuela coming back and welcoming her home, number 117. And just a beautiful array of stories down here and touching your hearts and pretty amazing. There's Mike Young from Ireland cheering on. Competitor, we saw Mike in the paddleboard. We saw Mike in the SUP surfing division earlier this week representing the lone man from Ireland, and still more competitors out on the course, Jamie.
Yeah, and as you can see, that this competitor just what happens when you're paddling into the wind, you just find yourself wanting to move further and further up the board. And so, as you can see, the Venezuelan lady here, who, God, she gets the hero of the day for paddling a prone board, paddling a stand-up board in the prone race. That's that would nearly be trying to reverse it and paddling the prone with a stand-up paddle. I mean, it's that's an amazing effort.
Of course, in all local paddleboarding races I'm familiar with in Hawaii and you're familiar with in Australia, there's so many different categories. There's stock boards, there's unlimited boards, there's special class. Then you got the age group of the male and the female, the open class. I mean, there's so many different categories. We got to make up one, a SUP paddling in a prone division.
Yeah, that would be it'd be a lot of falling in, I think, in that division. But yeah, it's then it looks like the wind has laid down a little bit.
Let's take it down to the beach as we can hear that ISA President Fernando Aguilera is ready for the speak. Take it away, Fernando.
Okay, we're here with Maria Gabriela Orihuela, but everybody knows her as Titi, from Venezuela. She just finished on the pro race, 9th position. ¿Cómo estás?
Bien, chévere.
¿Qué tal?
Súper divertida. Buenísima, buenísima, buenísima.
Esfuerzo.
Sí.
Viniste riendo, llegaste riendo como si fuera un paseo al final. Un paseo
No
duro,
te creas, sí. Estaba bella la ruta. Bellísima, además el contraste, ¿no? Primero por el laguito y después, o sea, por los canales y después ves como si fuera un mar abierto y el contraste fuerte.
No, she's saying that she was very, very, very happy. I said, but you arrived like smiling. I said, yeah. She was happy, but saying that it was very hard. That she loved the contrast of, the open area, then the islets, all the channels, and then of course you look out when you come out of the islands. It looks like you're in the sea, not really on a lake. Asking about the boat. Me dice que te pregunte acerca de tu tabla. ¿Qué tabla estabas usando?
La mejor, Chelo,
¿Es la
sí,
que
no las
usas
hizo.
siempre?
Bueno, realmente esta es prestada por el máximo Javier Vargas.
Sí.
Sí, estaba acostumbrada a otra tabla que me había prestado también en Colucci. Son dos modelos de tablas que tenemos en Venezuela.
¿Y cuando practicas, en cuál practicas?
En la de Armando Colucci, que es un poco más curva abajo.
Abajo, sí. Más calada.
Sí.
Okay, she was saying that she uses a board. They're both board shapes by friends in Venezuela, and she was training one of them. So, ¿y ahora qué vas a hacer?
Ahora entrenar más. Ahorita descansar.
Yes, so what are you gonna do? I'm gonna train more. I said, right now. I said, no, I'm gonna rest. Titi, muchas gracias.
Gracias a ti.
That is one happy girl from Venezuela and one tremendous accomplishment paddling in the prone division with an SUP equipment. And here we go, more paddlers still out on the course here in Lake Nicaragua. You're watching the 2014 ISA World SUP and Prone Paddleboarding Championships.
We're just trying to find out who this competitor is, but
this will be in 10th place coming in on the yellow board. Taking a look at our different, we've seen Gabby finish, Rikira could finish. We've seen a Brazilian competitor finish. I believe Diane Wenzel was not on the course. She did not check back in for her second SUP surfing event. She may have to leave early. So we apologize for not having spot on because her number is on her back and the camera is on the 180 side of her. So hopefully when she runs across, we can get her race number and identify her for you. And this is 2 hours, 57 minutes, so almost 3 hours into this race, Jamie.
Yeah, 3 hours is a long time when in anyone's books out in the ocean. She's just had to paddle the last probably half an hour up into a headwind, and now she's battling a crosswind. So amazing effort, and it looks like she's on just a sort of a prone style board. So she's probably paddled the whole way laying down like that, and she'll wake up tomorrow. I imagine she'll be a little bit sore in the old shoulders.
Yeah, a little tight, a little exhausted, but memories she'll never forget.
Yep, she'll be sore, but she'll be so stoked, and you watch them, guaranteed a big smile across the face when she gets up and runs across that line.
So again, as she comes in and finishes up here, we're going to try to get you all updated with. Now we're getting information who she is. Maria Vanegas from Nicaragua. So we had Ana Vanegas. This is a 21-year-old Maria.
Local girl.
What?
Local girl from Nicaragua, right?
Local girl.
Yeah. 21-year-old, and she'll probably get one of the biggest cheers of the day coming up the beach right now. So you can see a big smile on the face and the big white teeth shining there, and the local flag goes down. What a great effort. Look at that. Hey, she goes down.
Those legs are jello after 3 hours, aren't they, Jamie?
Oh yeah, but she's so stoked right now, and what a great effort, and that they just don't even look like they're tired. Just run up the beach carrying the flag, so proud, and congrats to her.
Hey, she broke 3 hours, 2 hours and 59 minutes on the dot.
Yeah, and Fernando's down there, and everyone comes in to give her a big hug, and what a great effort.
The whole Nicaraguan team, the paddling team supporting her because she's just as important as any other member on the team.
Yeah, if not more important. These are the ladies or the athletes that have, just starting their love for the sport and, just doing a great job. Who knows how long this girl's been paddling for? Is it 5 days? Is it 5 weeks or 5 months? We just don't know. But one thing's for sure, it's not. They're not like Team Australia or USA that have grown up doing this. So, for them to go out and paddle this distance is, way more of a challenge than the top girls. So, hats off to these teams that have just started up this great sport of paddling, and we're going to see such huge improvement from these nations over the next coming years.
So, Nicaragua coming in here, finishing up her race in 10th place overall. You can see more of the different colors and the different variety of paddlers, and another paddler still out on the outside. We're going to keep with the broadcast until our final paddler finishes up here. And let's talk about tomorrow, Jamie, because tomorrow's going to be very exciting. It's going to be the men's portion of the distance race. And let's first dissect our long-distance race with the men paddleboard first, as we've got a field here quite large and set up by the two Aussies, Rory and Reese.
Yeah, Reese and Rory, two different characters, but there are. I think we're going to throw to a commercial, but we'll get back to that when we go on the other side of that.
Yeah, so stay tuned. We're going to dissect tomorrow's race and bring you the last finishers here. You're watching the 2014 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships live from Lake Nicaragua.
As the non-profit world governing body for surfing, recognized by the IOC, the ISA has been crowning surfing world champions since 1964 and continues to develop and expand the sport of surfing. Humble beginnings off the shores of Hawaii and Polynesia, with massive global expansion, surfing is ready for the sporting world's greatest stage. Join us.
Welcome back to Lake Nicaragua. You're watching the 2014 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships, and there's two of our competitors, both in each division there of paddleboarding and SUP. This is the women's long distance race for this Aloha Friday, and we are just concluding up as if you missed it earlier, Jordan Mercer, third-time gold medal in the past 3 years for Australia, with Carter Craves in second place from the United States in the prone division, and an exciting race in our SUP women's division. It was Canada coming in first place with Lena Agaitis in first place and Shakira Westorp in second place. And what a race we saw early with the lead boat. We'd like to thank the local Nicaraguan TV stations for setting up a 30-second delay in the camera in the media boat, and Chris Parker from SUPRacer.com giving us a first-hand observation of this 18-kilometer, roughly about 10-11-mile course, and what an exciting race it's been.
It was an amazing race up front, and you know, the racing at the end here is just as important, but the racing up front was exciting. You know, Lena and Shakira going head-to-head right to the finish, and Jordan and Carter, you know, racing right till the downwind section as well, until Geordie just broke away. So, yeah, amazing effort. And then, you know, all those other races, young Shay Fody, what a great effort from her, you know, putting it all on the line. And, God, just so many, you know, all winners in my books, you know, just finishing this course is, you know, that was a brutal course. So congrats to everyone. But, you know, some great racing from, you know, the first place finisher to these finishers now.
Yeah, we were talking about previewing the men's paddleboard race. We were talking about Rory and Reese. The South Africans always strong. We got Nick and Brandon, Nick Mole and Brandon Ribbick from South Africa. They're going to be strong in tomorrow's race too.
Yeah, South Africans will be strong. Probably not quite the strongest team that I've seen on paper, but you know, you look down to you know, actually Rock Frey from Canada. He's a good paddler, and obviously Shane Skelgans from the USA. He'll be right up there as well.
Let's take a break right now. We're going to throw down to Philip Mueller from Latino SUP.com, and he's got a bilingual interview. Take it away, Philip.
So, guys, I'm with Maria Isabel Venegas, the paddleboarder from Nicaragua. It's been very little time that she's been practicing the sport. She's just arrived in a little bit more than 3 hours, so we're going to ask her how was it out there during the race. María Isabel, ¿cómo estuvo la carrera ahí afuera?
Un poco duro el viento, pero aún así seguí adelante para salir adelante a Nicaragua.
So she says that it was a bit difficult, that there was a bit of wind, but she gave it her best so that Nicaragua could come out forward and could come out on top, and she did it very well. She did it in a bit more than 3 hours. We're going to ask her a bit what is her background and how long has she been paddling. Entonces, ¿cómo llegaste hasta el deporte del paddleboard y hace cuánto tiempo también que lo practicas?
Apenas 10 días, practico el remo de tabla y me siento muy alegre por participar aquí y sacar adelante a Nicaragua.
Yeah. And so she says that it's only been 10 days that she's practicing paddle boarding, which is incredible for this young country and the nation of paddle boarders and stand-up paddles. So only 10 days that she started, and she's already in her first world class event. ¿Qué equipo usaste? So what type of board did she use? ¿Qué tabla usas?
El Pron.
Pero ¿qué modelo de tabla? ¿Qué marca? ¿La tabla la compraste? ¿Te la entregaron? ¿Con qué equipamiento usas?
La tabla que uso de Pro me la prestó México.
So the team of Mexico lent her a board so that she could practice. Imagine the friendship between Latin countries to be able to lend equipment like that to this young country. So we're just going to congratulate her and let her say a message to the people of Nicaragua that we know are lots of people are watching us live directly on national television. Entonces te queremos felicitar, y si tienes algún mensaje a la gente que nos sigue en la transmisión, hay mucha gente de Nicaragua que nos siguen en vivo esta transmisión.
Muchas gracias por estar viendo, y hay que salir adelante, hacer deporte para que Nicaragua siga adelante.
Entonces, so that was the message. We're going to say bye-bye for now, and we're going to keep up with the last competitors that are coming through the finish line. Back to you in the booth, guys.
Thank you so much, Philip Mueller from LatinoSUP.com, as we see our French competitor, Caroline Aguibad from France, finishing up, and quite a contraption she had up there on her paddleboard.
Yeah, it just sort of looked like a padding, maybe padding for the chin or something, just to someone that hasn't done it for a while or hasn't done it very often. You know, it's nice. So as we look for maybe one of the last stand-up competitors coming in, could be Team Mexico potentially. The board looks familiar, and that green hat, not 100% sure, but you know, she's just battling to the finish line, and you know, just see her trying to paddle like to keep the board straight from that side wind. So using one of the new quick blades button as she jumps off, she goes, "What's your leash?" Oh, yeah, she forgot to take her leash off there, but yeah, she's going to be very happy to hit dry land, I can imagine.
Esperanza Mures from Team Mexico.
Yeah, great effort, and you know, these girls get, you know, see what's possible and see the level of competition from the other girls in the other countries, and you know, you go back and you reevaluate what you've got to do and what sort of training you have to do, and you know, go and start training with the likes of Fernando and you know, Ryan Helm and all those guys from Mexico, and you know, next year all of a sudden you've got a new competitor on your hands.
So more finishers being greeted by ISA President Fernando Aguirre. Team Mexico welcomes one of their own back to the shores here at Lake Nicaragua. And taking a look at our field of men paddleboarders coming up in the distance race tomorrow. Brad Gull, a gold medal winner in 2012. Joel Mason, a silver medal winner. We saw last year Lincoln Dews winning the gold in the paddleboard distance, with Brad Gull taking second place. So Australia has swept the medals, gold and silver, for the last 2 years. And we've got two new Aussie, Rory and Reese, coming up. So big shoes for them to fill.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, it will be a battle, but you know, Shane Scoggins to me looks like the biggest threat. He's a great competitor, and he's been around for a long time. He's done many a long race, many a short race, and you know, he will be there to the death. So you know, and Rock Freya, you know, lives in San Diego for Encinitas, and he will race for Canada, and he's solid as well. He'll be right up there as well.
Yeah, Shane was a copper medal winner in 2012, did not compete in last year, so you know he's hungry for revenge and to get even better than fourth place here at the ISA World Championships. We've just been informed this is our final competitor out on the course as we're watching, as we debut the field here. But both Dion and Shane, this is going to be a way for the United States to stay on top with Australia as leading in the medals.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think Dean's quite up to the level of the other guys. So, you know, it'll be up to Shane, and you know, only one counts. You've got to remember that only one of these guys are going to count their scores. But the problem is that you know, what happens is that if you've got a good second racer, they can potentially stop the points of another country. So it's still very important that they both do very well. So. You know, the tactics will play a part tomorrow, and they'll be obviously you know, Team Australia, and you know, they'll be trying to work together to break away. But will they be able to break away from Shane? I probably don't think so.
Yeah, so that'll be an exciting race. Also, our other race is the one that you have medaled gold in the last 2 years at Miraflores, the long distance for the SUP. You and Travis Grant were gold, silver. Eric Terrion was bronze. Jay Wild was copper in 2012. And last year, an exciting finish. Yourself, Jamie Mitchell, in first. Casper Steinfoth in second. Fernando Stalla in third. Paul Jackson from New Zealand in fourth, and he's not back. But Lincoln Dews elevating himself from the prone paddleboard into the SUP distance tomorrow. So that ought to be exciting, and the transition. And he's well prepared.
Yeah, he's been doing the surf life saving scene all summer. So, you know, distance is probably not his forte right now. But as we saw yesterday, he looks like he's in sharp form. And you know, Lincoln's one of those kids that can do anything. He's super talented, and you know, he can just, you know, jump on any sort of craft and make it work. So, yeah, and Toby Cracknell, young kid, I think was more known. I've only just met Toby myself the last few weeks. I think more of a surfing background, but's fallen in love with racing, and you know, another young kid from the northern beaches of Sydney, and you know, those two guys finished in the top 10 the other week at a very competitive Carolina Cup, so they'll be out for a big race. But you know, tomorrow's a stacked field, and it's going to be amazing. You got the two French guys, you have the two USA team members of Slater Trout and Chuck Glenn, Casper. You've got Belair from Spain, Ollie Shilson from the UK. You have Vincius Martins from Brazil, Javier Jimenez from Mexico, Fernando from Mexico, Dylan Frick from South Africa. It's just it's a stacked field, and your guess is as good as mine on who's going to come out on top.
Well, there could be any one of 12 different competitors that could win tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, if it is a headwind, there could be, a touch of separation. But, if there's a group of 6 or 7 or 8 heading into the inside there where it's flat, no one's going to really break away. And then, again, it's going to come to this little push of downwind section. Who's the strongest and who's prepared the best. So, my prediction, again, is that, no matter what happens, it's even if it's 2 or 3 at the front, it's still going to come to that 4 to 5 that's going to that buoy 4 to 5 that's going to make or break what goes down tomorrow.
We see a local Nicaraguan boat coming in here with the New Zealand flag. And this could be our Mexican. We already see all our Mexican competitor. This could be our Peruvian competitor, Delgado. Yep, number 129. You see her number right now. So, Lizanka.
Yeah.
Delgado. So we just got word from Chris Parker from SUPRacer.com that her son and husband will be racing tomorrow in the Prone and the SUP division. So family affair there.
That's awesome. That's keeping it in the family. And it looks like she's on one of those fanatics that the ISA have provided for a bunch of the countries here that don't have boards. So good job again from the ISA with all the support that they've given, and buying a bunch of quality boards for the competitors to ride.
And giving those chance who can't fly the equipment from country to country, and the ISA looking out for the best interests as we see Lizanka Delgado coming in, and she's excited to finish this race.
Yeah, it's amazing achievement, and she's proud and good on her. Now she gets back to watch her husband and son tomorrow, and I'm sure she's stoked as she is there. Looks like her husband's there to grab her, and what an amazing, that's a great photo there at the end of the race. So congratulations, that's awesome.
So they're making sure that she's okay. We do have EMT crews here on site, the local Nicaraguan. You can see the lifeguards there here, certified by the Red Cross and safety. And you can see some of the safety personnel coming off the boat there as the last boat, as they were well prepared. They put tons of bags of ice on some of those boats because, hydration is so important. Overheating, heat exhaustion, a very high possibility. We did have one participant pull out in the race in the island section, so they were prepared for that. Going into the race, they knew that was a possibility, and sure enough, one of the competitors did have to pull out.
Yeah, well, and I'm amazed that only one did. That's a great effort as well. So, in these conditions, you thought it might be more, but I'm just going to give a quick shout out to SUP for all the way from Ireland. They're saying wishing you all the best from Ireland, and they're rooting for Dylan Frick in the distance tomorrow.
Well, Dylan Frick last year competing for South Africa finished 8th place, so he made the top 10 in the competing in Miraflores, so he'll be one to contend with.
Definitely, Dylan's up and coming, and I think he prefers the downwind more, but big, strong South African kid, and he'll do great. So,
as we see the crew back on the beach, and in fact, speaking back on the beach line and the shoreline area here at Lake Nicaragua, let's go down and check in with Jody Nelson.
Thanks, Bo. Just the last racer, you wanted to get that finish line, and how special is that field across the finish line?
It's accomplishing your goal. I was looking forward to this for so many weeks, and I'm so excited that I made it. Thank you to everybody that helped me, my trainer, my husband, my son. I couldn't make it without you.
Now, representing Team Peru, and you're going to be competing tomorrow for Peru as well as your dad. Watching your mom out there, you know, how special was that for you, seeing her cross the finish line? How emotional was that?
You know, I'm so stoked to see my mom. She's my mom, and I can't explain what I'm feeling now. Estoy orgulloso de ti, mamá.
Now, you know, seeing your wife out there finish, knowing that you guys are going tomorrow, how inspirational was that performance?
I have to make it to the finish line tomorrow. Definitely. Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, congratulations, Team Peru, and good luck to you boys tomorrow.
Uno, tres, arriba Peru!
All right, boys, that's it down here on the beach. Back to you in the booth.
Thanks a lot, Jody. And there's one family, one happy family, one SUP paddling family, huh?
That's amazing. Yeah, that sums up the spirit of the ISA right there. I think you don't really need to say too much, you know, apart from that. And yeah.
We're going to check out the daily recap, and today was only two divisions. It was women only today. It was the long-distance race, the 18K, the 10-miler, and we'd like to thank Google Earth for this zoom-in shot as we started here today in Granada in Lake Nicaragua. And you can see the start, Jamie, as it was a tough going, and the leaders pushed hard from the beginning.
Yep, looked like this was the start of the race where Lena was trying to get a good start. A little freight train there of about 6 or 7 competitors, and then it shortly went into 3, and then that 3 would become 2 with just Lena and Shaq out in front, with a second pack of 5 hot on their heels. But you know, the Spanish girl just slowly starting to lose the train there, but you know, obviously Shaq and Lena got into the flats in between the islands here and was just too strong.
Here's a point where Shaq passes Lena.
Yeah, just Lena looked like she stopped to get some hydration or a gel, and Shaq went to the front. Lena jumped on her tail, and then into the downwind leg here, and you know, Lena just showed why she's too strong, and she just pushed harder down that downwind section, and Shaq hung on for dear life. But Lena gets to the turn first, and braces herself for that last grinding upwind leg, and you know, all her hard work and training of becoming a professional SUP athlete paid off in this last leg.
And you can see coming back in, and of course we can't forget now 3-time gold medalist. She has never lost this race, Jordan Mercer.
Yeah, Jordan Mercer, obviously another stellar performance. But you know, Lena making that final right-hand turn into the beach, and she, you know, her stroke was solid. She looks fast. She choked down that stroke on the way in and sprinted to the line, as we see Shaq in the background there. But Lena, you know, from Canada, doing Canada proud and just too strong on the day, and what a great performance.
Well, she dedicated this year to be world #1, and she's proving it.
Yeah, she definitely is, and you know, she's beating, you know, some of the best competitors there, and you know, Shaq just coming in there for second, as you see Jordy Mercer coming in there to take out her 3rd consecutive long distance race.
And now there's a silver gold, as there's Laura from Spain as she finished 5th, and of course we can't forget the local Nicaraguan paddlers here as they were paddling in this great race. We got a rundown of the competitors. Jordan Mercer took 1st place. Carter Graves for the United States in 2nd place. In 3rd place, it was Itzar Rivero from Spain. 4th place, Ashley Cochran from New Zealand. Our top 4 for the SUP, obviously from Canada, Lena Agaitis in 1st place. Shakira Westorp in 2nd place. 3rd place, Barbara Brazil. In 4th place, the young 15-year-old from the United States, Shea Fowdy. Top 4 medals for the Australian USA. They're leading the teams, and when we come back tomorrow, it's going to be more exciting racing. For Chris Parker, for Dan Gravier, for Jody Nelson, for Jamie Mitchell, the world champion, I'm Bo Hodge. Thank you for watching the 2014 ISA World Stand-Up Paddle and Paddleboard Championships. Join us tomorrow for the men's long distance, both prone and SUP. And buenos dias from Nicaragua. We'll see you tomorrow.
The dark stranger.
in the pocket like Wallace. I got the bounce like hydraulics. I can't call it. I got the swerve like alcohol. My freshman year, I was going through hella problems till I bit up the nerve to drop my ass about a call. My teacher said I was a loser. I told her, why don't you kill me? I give a fuck if you feel me. I'm gonna follow my heart. And if you follow the charts or the plaques, so guess who's back? You see, I'm so shy that you thought it was bashful, but this bastard's flow will bash your skull, and I will cut your girl like past the troll. And I don't usually smoke, but past the dro. And I won't give you that money that you asking for. Why you think me and Dane cool? We assholes. That's why we hear your music getting fast forward, cause we don't wanna hear that weak shit no more. Throw your motherfucking hands. Get 'em high. All the girls pass the weed to your motherfucking man. Get 'em high. Now I ain't never tell you to put down your hands. Get 'em high. Throw your motherfucking hands. Get 'em. Get 'em. Throw your motherfucking hands.
Again?
I didn't.
Rolling, roll.
What did you say your name was again?
I didn't.